There we go. All right, what is going on, everyone? If you are trying to see if we got anyone here in the live yet, probably not, but hopefully we get some people here soon. But if you're watching this after it's been posted, thank you for joining me here today. Oh, there it goes. I was trying to check it to make sure it's working. Okay, looks like it's working. Today we have a few, actually quite a few topics to cover, and I'm not sure if I'm even gonna be able to get to them all tonight, but we'll try our best. So first of all, we're going to start off with the Terrion Arnold news. We're going to kind of go through and talk about what is going on there, because we got some big news today, quite a bit actually from that whole thing. And then other than that, we will go through and talk about, I already said, Terrion Arnold, and we'll also talk about the Miles Bridges trade, John Morant trade, the whole Malik Beasley situation. Now, this one's going to be a pretty big one because we've been waiting to kind of hear for like a few months now, like what's going on with this. So we'll go through that, and then we'll also talk about a lot of Jalen Duren news. So we'll get through and that, and then Tobias Harris, some news around him as well. And we got some Jameson Williams news, and that pretty much is it. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump right into it. And as always, if anyone's watching the live, throw something down in the chat. Say what's up. Let me know what you want to talk about. It can be anything. Doesn't even have to be sports related, but obviously, usually we talk about sports on here. But yeah, it looks like we might have a couple people in here. So if you're watching the live, please throw something down in there. But we're going to get started here, and I'll try and respond to you guys. I should be able to respond to everyone. So we'll start with the Terrion Arnold stuff. A lot has come out today. So it sounds like I don't have. Oh, wait, I do have the article. It's right here. So it sounds like by reading this article that I found from Detroit Free Press, it sounds like he was granted a $1 million bond, which honestly, like I thought was pretty exciting. Like I was pretty when I seen this, I was pretty thrilled because I was really thinking that this actually might mean that he is going to be at the play for us this year, which it's not looking good. So it sounds like so obviously it's good for him. But they sought Arnold to be held in detention without bond till his trial, but per the state's request, saying that the state isn't there at this point, the state also requested an ankle monitor, which the defense objected to the judge, and the judge denied. So they granted Arnold to leave his residence for work purposes, and that's pretty much it. So they're gonna be tracking this dude, but the crazy thing is that just a couple hours after this, the Detroit Lions announced that they would be releasing him. So Terrion Arnold is now no longer on the Detroit Lions, which honestly, like I'm pretty bummed out about that. I really was hoping that he would take a big step this year because we saw a couple flashes last year, and it really sucks that he won't be able to be on the team this year. But yeah, I mean, definitely a crazy situation. Definitely hoping, wishing him the best, but more than likely, from the sounds of it, it's not looking like he will probably ever play in the NFL again. At least not for the Detroit Lions, but we'll see. So yeah, sorry about that, Terrion, but no bueno for you. Let's see. What do we want to get into next? I'm thinking, kind of want to get into the Malik Beasley stuff. We got, like I said, we have a lot to talk about today. And if anyone, like I said, anyone's here in the chat, throw something in there. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me know what you're trying to talk about. But we'll get into the Malik Beasley stuff, so we can kind of stay on the Detroit side of things for the time being, and then we'll kind of get into the Miles Bridges and the John Morant trade. But yeah, so Malik Beasley, we all know the whole thing. Oops, I thought I had an article, but I guess I didn't put one on here. We all know the whole thing going on with him and the whole gambling thing. It sucks, it really does. But at the same time, this dude kind of did it to himself, man. He kind of made us think for a while there that he was possibly going to get out. And honestly, I really thought that we might see him on the Detroit Pistons again. However, it's not looking good for him. It's looking like he's probably never going to play in the NBA again. And that sucks, but again, this is a guy who did this to himself. He made bad decisions, and now he is going to be getting punished for them. So personally, I mean, I was really holding out hope for a while that Beasley would come back, but it's pretty much a done deal now that he is probably never going to be playing in the NBA again. I would assume. I would be very surprised if this guy were to ever step foot in an NBA court again. But it just sucks though, because he really made us think for a while that like he was going to come back, and it really sucks that it had to go the way it did. But obviously, again, it's his own fault, and it sucks not being able to have a player like him. It really does. But hopefully, wishing the best for him and the rest of his basketball career, whatever he does. But man, it sucks that he really sucks that he's not going to be on the Detroit Pistons ever again. But honestly, I kind of gave up hope a few months ago. Like I think mid-season I had a lot of hope because there was a lot of rumors we were going to get him back, but not happening. So and yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for Malik Beasley. Um, so yeah, on to the next topic. And again, if there's anyone in here who wants to talk about anything, throw something in the chat, say what up. And let's see, do we want to go to Jalen Duren? We can do. We'll go to Jalen Duren, then we'll go to Tobias Harris. Why not? All right. So Jalen Duren, a lot has come up with him over really the last week, but over the last basically 12 hours now, there has been a lot going on with him and this Detroit Pistons front office. So here's the article and the tweet that I found. So we'll start with the article, which says that Jalen Duren's future of the Detroit Pistons is reportedly in serious jeopardy. And that is not something that I want to hear. Because I'm a big Jalen Duren fan, and I really want him, and think that we need him on this team this year. So, but it says Detroit Pistons restricted free agent center. We'll read the top one first. So NBA insider Chris Haynes reported Monday he and the team are a sizable distance apart in negotiations, which means he will meet with the Sacramento Kings with the intentions of structuring a sign and trade out of Detroit. So interesting stuff there. What's more, Sam Amick of The Athletic reported Duren also had a call with the Los Angeles Lakers scheduled for Tuesday as another sign and trade scenario. So not good stuff to see there. But honestly, I will come back to that real quick on this whole sign and trade thing. Looks like we got a few people in here. What's going on, guys? Throw something in chat. Say what up. Let me know your thoughts on this whole Jalen Duren situation if you want. But and then the other thing, the tweet that came out from, I don't even know how to say his last name, but we'll just call him Dave. Detroit Pistons restricted free agent center Jalen Duren has planned a call with the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday, a league source confirmed to ESPN. However, Detroit thus far is uninterested in pursuing a sign and trade with the all-star big man. So if you guys haven't heard, most of what the Detroit Pistons have said has all been they're not interested really in a sign and trade. They're not interested in letting Duren go. Their whole goal is to keep Jalen Duren here in Detroit. So I mean, hopefully that's how it goes. Hopefully that is what. Hopefully that's what happens. But here's the thing though. So when you look at the whole sign and trade thing, you're looking at like what they said. You have the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers. I really think those are probably the two most probable teams that we would do a sign and trade with or have this happen with. So looking at the Sacramento Kings, what could we get in return from them? Honestly, look, I wouldn't say it, again, I always say this. I do not want to get rid of Jalen Duren. I think we need to keep him on this team. I think it's important to have him. The team chemistry, the connection with Cade, I think it's important. But I will say that in return from Jalen Duren, you'd probably be able to get Domantas Sabonis. And honestly, that is a really good player. That's a really high caliber player to have on your team. So look, personally, I don't think I would be that upset if we were to get Domantas Sabonis and maybe I don't know. I don't really know what the trade would look like because I know Sabonis is a pretty high sought after player, but I also do know that Jalen Duren was an All Star this year. Sabonis, I don't think was, but I think Sabonis was an All Star either last year or the year before. But yeah, so I mean, I honestly think like you could do a straight up trade there. If Duren really wants to get paid and he wants to go somewhere else because he's that much of a dick that he thinks like, oh, I need this extra $5 million, extra 10 million, because the Pistons are sounding like we're trying to give him about 35 mil, where he's looking for like 45 mil, and I mean, dude, he is not a $45 million center, not yet. Um, so when you look at it like that, man, like I really don't think he's worth the 45 million. But then again, if you are able to do a sign and trade with him where you trade for Demonis Sabonis, or I think that's how you say his first name, Demonis Sabonis. If you were to do that, honestly, I don't think it would be the end of the world. But obviously, me personally, I want to keep Darren in Detroit. I think that he's worth keeping. He's worth paying. He's been on the team the last, what, 3-4 years now, and he's really helped us become a better team. So honestly, I don't know if anyone in here wants to throw their opinion in. Would you want to see Jalen Duren re-signed here in Detroit, or would you rather see a sign and trade with a team like the Sacramento Kings, where you could go get Sabonis, and maybe another player as well, or even the Lakers? The Lakers are another team that have been heavily pursuing Jalen Duren, and from what I've heard, are probably the top suitor or top option for him. Which I could see him in LA. I mean, I really could, but obviously hoping that he stays in Detroit. I really don't want to see him go, but we'll see. We'll see. Um, and if we were to do a sign and trade with LA, we'd probably get DeAndre Ayton in return. And look, I mean, I don't hate DeAndre Ayton at all. I mean, I remember there was rumors we would get him a couple years ago, and that never happened. But I hope that if we were to sign and trade with anyone, I would not mind getting, obviously Sabonis would be, honestly, like I would almost like I wouldn't say I prefer that over Duren, because I think keeping Duren's important. Like I said, team chemistry, his connection with Cade, but I think that in terms of just like pure talent, I think Demonis Sabonis might honestly take him there. So. But yeah, and then obviously Aiton's really just a Duren prototype, just not quite as like good at rebounding. So I wouldn't say it's a bit of a downgrade going from Duren to him, but honestly, it's not too much different. Ayton is okay offensively. He doesn't really put up more than like 8 to 12 a game, whereas Duren can go for 20 to 30. But we saw how Duren performed in the playoffs, so we'll see. But that's really all I got for the whole Duren situation. So not much there, but obviously hoping to see him stay here in Detroit. I really do. I think he will, but you never know. You really don't. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about Tobias Harris. So more news that just came out actually like 2 or 3 hours ago. Not great info. Yet again, Tobias Harris, Unk, whatever you want to call him. From the sounds of it, there is a really good chance that Tobias Harris might not be resigning with the Detroit Pistons. Now, this came from, what's his name? It's a Detroit Pistons reporter. I don't have it on me, but so it came from a very reliable source, and he's been like dropping a lot of info today. I think his name's like Chris or something like that. I forget his last name, but basically what is going on here is it's sounding like what went from a very probable re-signing is now sounding like we might not be re-signing Tobias Harris, which I find very interesting because as of right now, we traded Isaiah Stewart. Jalen Duren is wanting us to do a sign and trade because we won't pay him. We won't pay him, excuse me. And now we're also talking about getting rid of Tobias Harris. So, I mean, if we do a sign and trade with Duren, right, you're probably going to get a big in return. Hopefully Sabonis or Ayton, one of the two. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But if we do not do a sign and trade, then we literally would have Paul Reed as our only big. And maybe like you want to throw in Tolu Smith in there, go for it. it's not looking good right now. I'm free agency for the Detroit Pistons. Now, free agency starts. Does it start tomorrow? Oops, hold on, sorry. Oh, okay, we're good. Um, so free agency starts. I think I'll have to check. It might be next Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow though. So we're gonna see here. Let me look it up just to make sure, honestly, because I don't want to. Ooh, Morocco just tied Netherlands. If anyone cares about FIFA. When does NBA free agency start? I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, but tomorrow at 6 p.m. Move. Okay. So tomorrow night we're gonna find out a lot more. So we'll see how that whole situation goes. But yeah. So Tobias Harris, look, he's done a lot for us over the 2 years he's been here, and obviously I know he was here when he was like younger and stuff too. But I'm really hoping that we do retain him. Now, I wouldn't say I would want him to be a starter, right? I don't want to pay him a ton of money. I don't want him. I don't mind him starting, but like again, like I don't know if that's your best option really for a contending team. I think having him come off the bench would probably be a lot more efficient. So, but yeah, I think when you look at Tobias Harris, it's down to the money and it's down to also his age, right? So you don't want to pay a guy his age too much, and you also, like I said, I would prefer him to come off the bench. I would rather have somebody better than him starting, but more than likely that won't happen. I'm fine with Tobias Harris starting though. But the thing is if we don't re-sign him, we have no bigs. We don't have anyone. So could we not sign him and then go after someone big? Sure. Do I expect that to happen? No. Especially with the whole Jalen Duren thing going on, I have no idea. I really don't. And I will say this: like my confidence from re-signing Duren went from like 80% down to like 60%. Like it went from like a 20% to a 40% chance of him being gone out of Detroit. So it's not looking good. But for Tobias Harris' sake, I mean, I expect us to re-sign him. I don't know why we wouldn't. I really would be shocked if we didn't re-sign him. But from what the Detroit Pistons reporter, again, I forget his name, from what he said, it's not sounding too good. It's not sounding like it's not sounding like we're retaining him. So that's just what I heard. That's what I read earlier. If anyone in here wants to chime in, say something, throw something in the chat, say what up. Let me know your thoughts on the whole Jalen Duren stuff and the Tobias Harris stuff. Yeah, I'm really hoping that we do re-sign Tobias though, because he's a good player. He's a good vet on this team. So we'll see what happens there. Trying to think, what else do we have? We have JMO to talk about, and yeah, I think that's. And then we also obviously have the other trades that went around the NBA. I don't know. Let's see. Do I want to talk about JMO first, or do I want to talk? We'll talk about JMO first. Why not? So looking at and again, if anyone in here is on the live, throw some down in the chat, man. Say what up. Say what you want to hear. Talk about whatever. Appreciate y'all for joining. I really do. And make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. You don't have to. But if you are enjoying this, then I would appreciate it. Anyway, Jameson Williams, my favorite player on the Lions. I should get his jersey. I have an Amon-Ra jersey. I don't have his. But from what we've been hearing, after all the bad news we've been talking about with Terrion Arnold and Jalen Duren, Beef Stew, Malik Beasley, we finally have some good news in Detroit. Jameson Williams has been absolutely outstanding. I'll read through this a little bit here. If you want to read the full thing, go for it. But from what I've been hearing, Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams, he had a great season last year, 65 catches and over 1,100 yards. He had a terrific year last year. He was phenomenal. But that still wasn't enough to get the Lions back in the playoffs, but it did show the growth that he had. And as a result, Scotty Montgomery believes that Jameson Williams is capable of taking another leap in his fifth season. I can't believe he's already in his fifth season, by the way. That's crazy. And this is what Scotty Montgomery said. He said, we've really worked hard this offseason, even just on the phone, talking about the detail that it takes to go from being good to truly elite, and then the things from a mentality standpoint. The way that we go about when we're working, like not even just the start of a drill, but also just the finish. So everything we do, his details, his eyes, his catch points, his checkpoints, everything that we're doing now, we did March, April, man, it showed up. We're really excited about where he's at right now. And this is definitely by far his best offseason and his best chance to grow as a player that since we've been here for a number of reasons, but he's done a good job. So very good news to know that JMO is, doing well. I think this was expected, obviously. Let me scoot in a little bit. This is obviously expected because Jameson Williams is a hell of a player, and every single year he's taken like the next step, right? Like his rookie year, he was hurt, and then his second year, he had the whole suspension thing going on, and then his third year had another little suspension thing going on. But you kind of start to see glimpses of him, and then all of a sudden, last year he just starts going crazy, and he really performed well last year. And I honestly think that he could perform even better because half the year we weren't even throwing to him, man. Like there were games where he just honestly wasn't even getting a single catch. So really hoping to see him get more usage this year. But honestly, like I said, like I think for him, for his sake, hopefully him and Goff can keep continuing to develop that connection because that's the most important thing is that wide receiver to quarterback or should be quarterback to wide receiver connection. So hopefully hoping to see Jameson Williams continue to grow as a player. He's really, I mean, last year was an excellent season, and I'm again really hoping to see him continue to grow his game. I honestly think that there's not much for him to improve at. The only things really would just be like tackle breaking, which I mean he's not much of a tackle breaker, right? He's more of a catch and run kind of guy. He's a yards after catch, whatever. So hoping to see him have another great year though. But good to hear that JMO is doing well, man. It really does make me happy knowing that he's out here performing well and showing off. And it sounds like out of everything, he has been the probably biggest standout player so far. He's been probably one of the top performers. So good to see. Good to see. It really is. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is pretty much it for Detroit talk. I might go back and recap a little bit, or in a little bit, if we get some more new people in here. But from the for the most part, that's really it. So if anyone's in here, man, if anyone's here on the live and you guys want to chime in, talk about anything, whether it's Malik Beasley related, whether it is Sheelan Duran related, Tobias Harris related, JMO related, Terrion related, those are kind of the big things that we've been talking about here so far. We're gonna get into a couple of other stuff going on around the NBA with John Morant, Miles Bridges, a couple of really big trades. But if you guys got anything to say or anything you want to hear me talk about or anything you want to voice your opinion about, go for it. Do appreciate y'all for watching though. But anyway, doesn't look like we've got anything. So we'll go ahead. We'll move in to. We'll start with the Miles Bridges trade. So, Miles Bridges. It's kind of funny because maybe I'll go get it in a minute. I actually have Miles Bridges Hornets jersey and John Morant's Grizzlies jersey because those are two of my favorite players, like two of my top 5 favorite NBA players, probably only behind like guys like Cade Cunningham, Kyrie Irving, and like I don't know, man, it would be my third, probably Bridges, but and then Jaws obviously in there too, along with like probably like beef stew or something. I don't know, but anyway, the the Charlotte Hornets traded. Oh man, I just realized the text is all messed up. Oh no, I don't know if I can fix it. Wait, I think I can. Let me see. I don't know why it got switched. Here, I'll change it real quick. Actually, I'll just delete it, and then that'll look better because I don't feel like dealing with it right now. Something got messed up in my. There we go. Let me make sure that's still there. Okay, something got messed up in the when I was editing these like text bubble things. So I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. So looking at the Miles Bridges situation, man, like I said, one of my favorite players. One of the I'm a Michigan State fan, so obviously I've loved him since he's been at MSU. But to be honest, the Charlotte Hornets right now are absolutely just throwing away their franchise. Like, I mean, they were literally a game away from the playoffs this year. And the fact that they're throwing away LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, two of their best players, from one end I can kind of understand, right? They're trying to get rid of their old high-paid players who have never gotten anything done, right? Like they've been in Charlotte for what, like I think Bridges has been there since 2018. Melo's been there since 2020 maybe, I forget. But they've been there for so long and they have yet to really accomplish anything. So I can kind of see why they're doing this. But you just traded Miles Bridges, and I had the info up here, but I think I know off the top of my head. They traded Miles Bridges and a 2029 first round pick and a second round pick, I think in 2029 as well. So they traded those three things. Like they traded Bridges along with a first round pick in order to get in return, right? Excuse me, Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, and a 2033 first round pick. So look, if they're trying to do like a salary dump here, I kind of see what they're doing. But then again, you're also taking on the contracts of Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal. So, and Bridges really wasn't getting paid that much. Like, I don't think it was anything like extreme. So honestly, like, I find it crazy for the Charlotte Hornets, a team that, again, was one game away. They had such a good end of the season, one game away from making the playoffs, playing the Detroit Pistons, and they are trading away LaMelo Ball. And again, even that trade I didn't like. Like the whole LaMelo Ball trade with, you went out and you got Naz Reid, and I forget, I think there was one other player they might have got, but like I didn't love that trade either. I think LaMelo's worth more than that. Naz Reid is more of a bench player, and I would love to have Naz Reid, um, but yeah, I don't think that I really don't think that this was a good trade at all. But either way, Miles Bridges, man, your time in Charlotte will not be forgotten. I know like this is a Detroit account, but like man, I really do appreciate Miles Bridges because man, he was fun to watch. He was fun to watch when he was there. So. But yeah, so he is gone. He is gone. And for the Phoenix Suns, though, I mean, come on now. They got a first round pick in 2029 and Miles Bridges. Like, I feel like they just fleeced the Hornets, which I think they did. I think the Hornets just made like the dumbest like decision probably ever. Like, they really just got rid of one of their best players for next to nothing. Like, Royce O'Neal is not a great center. He's okay. And Grayson Allen, I mean, yeah, he's a solid shooter, but like, I wouldn't even say he's a starter. I mean, especially when they have Con Canupa on the team. So I don't know, man. I really didn't like that trade for the Charlotte Hornets, man. I feel for their fans. They've been through a lot over the years, and their franchise will just be stuck staying a shitty franchise, I guess. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on the Miles Bridges stuff, though. We'll move into the Ja Morant trade. Really, one of the last things I wanted to talk about. I might go back and recap a couple things. And once again, if anyone in here is here on this live, man, throw some down that chat. Say what up. Let me know your thoughts on anything, anything sports related or just anything, honestly. And let me know what's up. Let me know what you want to talk about. But looking at the Ja Morant trade. So this one was another very interesting one. I remember, I forget what I was doing earlier. I think I was going to drive somewhere. Like I think I was like picking up my sister, and I looked down at my phone. I see Sham's notification, and it says that Ja Morant is traded to the Portland Trailblazers. So pretty interesting. I mean, I honestly didn't really see him coming. So one of my friends is a very big Grizzlies fan, and he was obviously heartbroken. And I was too. Like I said, I have Ja Morant's Grizzlies jersey over there. I have Miles Bridges Hornets jersey over there. But yeah, he was devastated. And me and him were literally talking about it. I think Monday night maybe, and we were literally talking about how we were talking about just the Ja Morant. Like, is he going to get traded? Is he going to be on the Memphis Grizzlies this year? And I told him, I was like, you know what? I think that they'll probably keep him at least till mid-season and just see what the team looks like with him. And hopefully, obviously, hopefully they would keep him and see how the team was. Because I think the Grizzlies have a pretty good roster now that they've added a couple of guys. They added Beef Stew in there. Just drafted Cam Boozer, who I'm not super high on Cam Boozer, but I think that they have a really good core and a lot of potential. So I don't know. It'll be interesting though to see really what happens with this Grizzlies team now, because I mean they really do not have a point guard now, and Ja Morant was their stud. Now I know he hasn't been the healthiest guy, and I know he hasn't really been the greatest guy outside of basketball either. So, but it's gonna be fun to see what happens in Portland. Now, I've heard a lot of people talking and saying that the Trailblazers might do a trade like with John Morant. Like they might just trade him again, which would be kind of crazy. But I've heard a lot of rumors about Jalen Brown going to the Trailblazers, which I don't know what it is, but I could definitely see. Um, I could definitely see Jalen Brown on the Trailblazers, but I could not see John Morant on the Celtics, so I don't know how that would work. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But looking at Portland, man, I mean, I was looking at their roster earlier because they made the playoffs this year. Like they were like literally the seventh seed in the playoffs this year, and I think they won one game against the Spurs, and that was it. But like they gave the Spurs some little bit of a tough time. I mean, there was a couple games where they had like a 20-point lead, and the Spurs just came back and won. So like honestly, like when you look at the Trailblazers roster, you're gonna have a healthy Dame this year. You're going to hopefully have a healthy Jaw, and then you'll also have obviously like your young guys, like you'll have Denny Avia, who just had an insane season. You're gonna have Donovan Clingan, who has been performing very well. I think they might still have Robert Williams as well, who's a good backup or good starter as a center. And then you also have guys like Shaden Sharp and like some other younger guys. But like Scoot Henderson as well. Like honestly, you look at that roster and you're like, dang, like that's not a bad roster. Now, if they went and traded Ja for Jalen Brown, they would be even better because Jalen Brown definitely is a little bit above Ja when it comes to just overall. Um, so it's gonna be interesting to see, man. I'm excited for for what's to come, really, for the Trailblazers because this is a team that's. I mean, I couldn't believe they made the playoffs this year. I never would have. If you would have told me the Trailblazers would have been in the playoffs this year, I would have probably laughed at you. Same thing with the Phoenix Suns, by the way, who I didn't really talk about them as much. I might go back and talk about them a little bit, but for Ja Morant, man, like really is like a good trade for the Trailblazers. Now you look at what Memphis got, right? We haven't even talked about this yet. The Memphis Grizzlies, in return, got Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. Now, I don't really know what the Grizzlies were thinking here. Jeremy Grant is a solid player, right? He's a good scorer. He's a good role player to have in a team. And Chris Murray is just kind of like a bench guy. Like he doesn't really play too much. So trading John Morant straight up for those two guys is not something I would have expected. Like that really caught me off guard. So personally, I'm interested to see what the Grizzlies do with that because I mean they like again like they traded John Morant for absolutely nothing. Now here's the thing: the Trailblazers go and trade John Morant for Jalen Brown. Like they're again like they just not only did they just scam the Memphis Grizzlies, but now you're gonna go get Jalen Brown. Like oh my goodness. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping to see. I think Ja and the Trailblazers would be kind of sick, but I don't know. We'll see what their front office is thinking. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that trade. I'll miss Ja in Memphis, man. That 2022 Memphis Grizzlies team was something that I'll always remember, man. I love that team. But we'll see what happens though. Obviously, a ton to happen tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow night. I might honestly just stream again tomorrow night because we probably are going to have a lot to talk about. So, um, but yeah. So personally, I think the Trailblazers really did something well here. I really think that going out and getting John Morant is going to help them a lot. As for the Grizzlies, throw away your entire roster. I mean, you're looking at probably another 2-3 years before you can compete because you just got rid of probably your best player. So, but yeah, that's my overall thoughts on that. Going back to this trade real quick, I wanted to talk about one thing. Looking at the Phoenix Suns, you look at that roster, right? Again, a team that made the playoffs this year, a team that was not expected to make the playoffs, by the way. Like this was a team I, again, would have laughed at you if you would have said that they were going to be in the playoffs. So, seeing them go out and perform the way they did, and I think they got swept by the Thunder, which go figure. But the way Devin Booker was playing, they got Dylan Brooks over there. Forget who their center is, but they have Jalen Green was performing pretty well. like they have a pretty solid roster, a lot of guards obviously, but I think adding Miles Bridges will definitely help them. I think that this is a guy who can play the three, the four. So I'm excited to see how they use him and just how he does. I think that him and Phoenix, alongside D Book, Dylan Brooks, even guys like Jalen Green out there, I'm interested to see what happens with that team. I think after being an 8 seed this past year, given that they go get like I forget who their point guard is. I can't really think of their roster too well, but given they go get like another good center or point guard, I think that this team will be looking solid next year. So we'll see. But yeah, that's my final thoughts on that trade. But yeah, and if anyone in here wants to talk about anything, man, I've pretty much finished up. Um, I might go through and just kind of repeat a couple things for anyone else that joins, but that's really it, man. I basically touched everything in about 36 minutes. So if anyone in here wants to talk about anything, it can be anything from this live, it can be anything from whatever you guys want. Anything sports related, freaking, I don't even care, World Cup related, up to you guys. But speaking of World Cup, let me check to see if Netherlands won. Oof, going into OT. But yeah, so I don't want to end stream quite yet, so I'll probably go through and kind of talk about a few things. Um, talk about a couple of things again that some people in here might not have heard. If you are in here, man, please, if you feel like it, feel free. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and then obviously, like I said, go down in that live chat, throw something down in there, say what's up, say what you want to talk about, because I pretty much covered everything. So if anyone in here wants to talk about anything, or feels like hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, whatever, man, let me know. But until I see any live chats in there, I will probably, let's see, we'll go back to some Jalen Duren talk, because I think that's probably some of the biggest news. I guess we could also talk about Malik Beasley again too, but we'll start with Duren. But yeah, but again, yeah, if anyone in here wants to talk about something, let me know, because I basically covered everything that I need to. So, but looking at Jalen Duren one more time, yeah, obviously, like I said, some pretty big news coming out. I talked about it earlier, but when you look at Jalen Duren's future with the Detroit Pistons, it sounds like it is in serious jeopardy. So, Chris Haynes reported Monday that he and the team are a sizable distance apart in negotiations with their contract. And it also sounds like he is going to be meeting with the Sacramento Kings. And it also, I think, is going to be, yeah, he's going on a call with the Los Angeles Lakers. So, two teams to look out for a sign and trade. That's all I got to say. Do I think the Pistons are going to do a sign and trade? Not really. But has the chances of that happening grown over the last couple of days? Absolutely. I think that when you look at Jalen Duren, I think he wants a lot of money for what he's worth. And look, I can't blame him. He's trying to get a bag. He's trying to get some money, but at the same time, he's kind of a dick. He's kind of a dick for that. So, we got Vinny in here. All right. There's no reason to trade beef stew. We're not getting Jalen Brown, or Kawhi. 100% agree. Trey needs his head. Yeah, Trey needs his head examined because he wants to re-sign Beasley after he fumbled. Yeah. Thank you for the chat, Vinny. I talked about the beef stew trade in my last live, dude. Like, what are we doing? Why are we trading the literal enforcer and heart and soul of this team? Like, I can't understand why we're going out and we're trading somebody who has been on this team for 6 years and has given us a lot to look at. So I'll say I 100% agree with you. Trajan Langdon really is, and the whole Beasley thing too, which I can go back and talk about that too. But like the whole situation with the beef stew trade, I remember I was out drinking with some buddies, and like I literally remember I was like, I'm gonna wake up the next morning and read this and be pissed off. And it's exactly what happened. Like, why are we trading? And not only that, but we didn't even get a player out of it. We got 3 second-round picks. I really cannot understand what we were thinking there. I really can't. I really think that we messed up. I think we got rid of one of our hardest working and just more talented players. And I know he was a bench guy, but man, like getting rid of getting rid of Beef Stew was really ridiculous. And then the whole Beasley thing, yeah. Um, I will say this. Oh yeah, you're talking about when Beasley fumbled in the playoffs last year. I'm assuming. Yeah. That was a sad way for him to end his NBA career. I'll say that. I talked about this guy a little bit earlier, but man, like what a way to end your career. He went from absolutely being one of the Detroit Pistons like most favorite players. Like he was literally like everyone's favorite. The way he was playing, the shimmy, he was just an absolute bucket. Like he was literally the best three shooter in the league, and he was probably one of the biggest reasons that we made the playoffs 2 years ago. So obviously no disrespect to him, but I'm like come on, man. Like why are we out here betting? And I know he did that a couple years ago, but like damn, man, like that is a tough way to go out in your career. I really think he'll. I mean, he's gonna regret it, man. He really will. I mean, he missed out on a lot of money. And he would have been such a good. Could you imagine if we would have had Malik Beasley this year, man? Like, could you imagine how good this team would have been? Like, the one thing we were missing was shooting this season. Like, we had really everything else. Like, we were a pretty good rebounding team, an amazing defensive team. We were missing this guy right here, and now he's probably never gonna be playing in the NBA again. So, but yeah, thank you, Vinny, for your chat. Let me know if there's anything else, anything else on your mind, man. Because yeah, like you said, we ain't getting no Jalen Brown. I remember there was a whole thing with like there was a big talk with Jalen Duren about like the sign and trade with the Celtics. If we're gonna do a sign and trade with Duren, you're trading for a center, not for a shooting guard, right? Like we don't look, we have no bigs right now. Like Tobias, and I talked about it a little bit ago as well. Where is it? Tobias Harris. It sounds like he might not be resigning. So we are going to have no bigs on this team if we do not re-sign Jalen Duren, or if we do a sign and trade, whatever. It better be for a Demonis Sabonis or DeAndre Ayton or something that has a little bit of value. So, but yeah, anyone else in here? Let me know what you guys are thinking, man. Throw some down that chat. Let me know your thoughts on anything Detroit related, anything NBA, NFL, whatever it is, man. Let me know. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as well. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, man, I could not believe that beef stew trade or the Beasley stuff. But yeah, I'll talk about the Beasley thing real quick. Why not? So if you guys didn't hear, I thought I had an article on here. I must not have, but basically, he has been indicted basically with the gambling stuff. They found out a couple years ago, I think now, that he was rigging games by basically like with his stats, whatever, and basically made it to where he was. I think there was something that he was trying to do. He was in debt of something. And he was trying to like get money or something like that. But it was like him and a couple other players that are basically done. Like they will never touch an NBA court again. And gambling is a huge no-no. Like when it comes to sports, man, like gambling is honestly worse than like domestic abuse, which is crazy. Like you will literally get banned from the league for gambling, but like if you go and smack the shit out of your wife, like they don't care. Like look at Miles Bridges. Like we just talked about him earlier. Like still in the league, he barely got punished. But yeah, for Malik Beasley though, man, it's sad to see him go out the way he is. He will always have a special spot in Detroit's heart because, and the whole thing with him, kind of like telling us the whole season, like he was always, the whole like regular season, even off season, he was always saying like, oh, I'm gonna be back in Detroit, right? Like I'm gonna get back. Like don't worry, man. If I'm gonna resign with an NBA team, it's gonna be with Detroit. So he was making it sound like he was gonna come back, and yeah, not happening. He is done in the NBA. So it sucks to say it, man, but yeah, that is just how it is. So but yeah, anything else y'all want to talk about, man, throw that down in that chat. I basically covered everything I wanted to talk about. So I mean, we've gone through, we had Terrion, whole situation, we had Miles Bridges trade, we got another Vinny chat. Let's take a look. What a time to be a local fan. Beasley and Terrion yeah, terrible. Terrion trouble with law. Beef stew gone for nothing. We didn't get a first round pick out of it. I don't want to see Duren resign. Okay. So for the Duren stuff, Vinny, what would you like to see? Would you like to see us do a sign and trade? Because I talked about it a little bit earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. So with the whole Duran situation, we have a lot of rumor about a sign and trade going on. So it sounds like we are not close with the negotiations for the contract, and it sounds like he is kind of exploring his options out there. So he's got a meeting set up with the Sacramento Kings, and then he's also got a phone call meeting set up with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think for me personally, I'll say this, Vinny. I personally want Duran to resign because, oops, sorry, there we go. I want Duran to resign because I think that the team chemistry is probably one of the most important things, and also like just his connection with Cade. Now, do I want to pay him $45 million? He's not even worth. He might be worth 35 mil at most. Now he was an All Star this year, so he's gonna demand money, right? And the other thing is that he is a very young and talented player. But for a guy who can't shoot the ball really, and for a guy that is not the greatest defender, you're not worth 45 million. So obviously I do hope we re-sign him and retain him. But honestly, if look, Vinny, I'll say if we are to do a sign and trade with the Kings and go out and get a Domantas Sabonis, man, I honestly can't say that I'd be that upset. Sabonis is a really good player, great defender, good lob threat. I think he can shoot the three as well. So, and there's also the Lakers too. We could do a sign and trade with DeAndre Ayton, which I wouldn't hate, but obviously Duran is probably a little better than Ayton. So, but yeah, man. I mean, what like you said, what a time to be a fan. Beasley gone, Terry Arnold gone. Like, oh my goodness. And then Beef Stew. Yeah, we didn't even get a first round pick out of Beef Stew. Like, honestly, like if we could have just gotten like a player, like honestly, I would have traded Beef Stew. I mean, I didn't want to trade Beef Stew, but if we would have traded him for like someone good, man, I wouldn't be that upset. But trading him for 3 second round picks, like my goodness, man, you couldn't have gotten a first rounder out of that. Ridiculous, but yeah, let me know. Let me know anything else you got for me, Benny. Love to talk more about some of the stuff. If anyone else has got anything in here that you guys want to talk about, man, let me know. Vinny said, yes, get most out of it. I hear that Stu trade was to free up money to re-sign Duran. Can we get more than the one center from Sacramento? So yes. So the center from Sacramento, if you're not familiar, is a very good player. I believe he was a former All-Star. So if we were to do a sign-in trade with Duran, that would be the team I would want to target because Sabonis would fit this team well. He's a good rebounder, good defender. You can go look at his stats. I think he can shoot too. Probably better than Duran can because Duran can't shoot for shit. But again, Duran is very young and he was an All-Star this year. And with that being said, him being an All-Star, Sabonis not being an All-Star this year, you would probably be able to get another player. Now, I heard a lot of people saying Keegan Murray. I'm not a huge Keegan Murray guy. And plus, I think he plays like the three. He might play the four, but we definitely need we need more bigs. So if you go do a sign and trade with Duran, you go get Sabonis. Then you'd probably be able to also get maybe one of like their bench players, maybe like just a shooter. Definitely good. Oh, what's up, Kali? What's good, bro? Good to see you, man. No, you're good, man. Hey, I'm just kind of recapping some of the stuff I've been talking about, man. I'll get into it, but yeah, let me know what you want to talk about. I've been talking about right now. We're talking about Duran sign and trade, because there's been a lot of news coming out today that the negotiations have been bad. We talked about Tobias Harris not wanting to re-sign, and then some other like trades with like Miles Bridges and some other shit. But yeah, man, thanks for joining. Um, Anyone in here, make sure to throw some shit in the chat, man. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, Vinny, finishing up on what you said though. If we were to do a sign and trade, I think I would want it to be with the Kings. I think getting Sabonis and maybe one of their like other bigs that they have. If we were to do Sabonis and Keegan Murray, we'd probably have to give up. Like, I mean, here's how I would do it. I would just give up. If we're gonna do a sign and trade, you can throw Duran in there. Oh yeah, here let me get to it. Tobias Harris. So let me pull up the article, Kali, just so that way I can make sure that I know like exactly what I'm talking about. So just a couple hours ago, like I think 2 hours ago, Per Chris Haynes, who has been giving us all the updates and stuff about the Detroit Pistons, Tobias Harris is very unlikely to return to Detroit in free agency. That's really all he said. That's all he said. So how factual is this? I don't know, but from what Chris Haynes said, who's a very reliable, trustable Pistons source, it's not sounding too good. So man, I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. If we get rid of Duran and Tobias in the same offseason, like dude, and Stu, oh my god. That would be literally the downfall of the Pistons. Troy, what's up, man? You think we really gonna sign and trade Duran? So I personally do not think we will. I personally think that the Pistons are gonna try to re-sign him. Everything that the Detroit Pistons have said, they've come out and they've said a couple things. Everything they've said is that their whole goal is to re-sign Duran. So the issue is that he is not like their contract negotiations have not been good. It's been bad. Like Duran's asking for 45 mil. Pistons are trying to give him like 35 mil a year, and yeah. So it's if we were to, it sounds like he is. I have the articles right here. Duran is planning on meeting with the Kings, which means we might do a sign and trade and get Sabonis, which I wouldn't be that mad about because Sabonis is pretty good. Or the Lakers as well, which I mean we'd get Aiton probably out of that, which I don't love that, but yeah. Who's our four then? Yeah, I mean if Duran's gone or if Duran and Tobias are gone, we got no one. It means that if you let go of Tobias and Duran, if you do a sign and trade with Duran, that means you're going to trade for another center, right? Like Sabonis, Aiton. If you let go of Tobias, that means you're freeing up money to go sign maybe a John Collins, um, Roy Hachimara. There's a couple names out there we could get, but um, who's so yeah, that's who. I mean, we literally would have no bigs though if we let go of Duran and Tobias. I think players are pissed and pushing back on the Beef Stew trade. Hey, personally, honestly, yeah, man. Like, I would be pissed too. I mean, he was what like literally like the heart and soul of. I talked about it in the last live. I mean, you remember. Um, Literally, Vinny said I agree on teammates pissed off. Trade like is there one Detroit Pistons fan that's in like that can agree? Like I hated the Isaiah Stewart trade. Like if there's a Detroit Pistons fan in here that is a defendant of that trade and thinks it was a good trade, let me know. Because the only thing I can think of, the only benefit to that trade was literally that we went out and we saved what? I mean, his contract wasn't that crazy. It was like what, 15 mil? Like, if anyone in here wants to defend that trade, let me know. I did not like that trade for 3 second round picks for a guy who has provided a lot for us. So I don't know. I pissed me off, man. I'll say that. But yeah, so the whole Jalen Duren stuff, it's not looking too good. But I will say I still do expect us to re-sign him. I think he's just testing the waters to see what he can get. But man, it's not looking good. And for what? Yeah, again, like why are we trading him for 3 second round picks, man? Like it's just it makes no sense. It really doesn't. He's worth a lot more than 3 second round picks. Like if we would have gone and got a first round pick for him and a second round pick, I'd probably be okay, not as mad. But like, why would we get rid of him? We don't have any bigs now. But I mean, when you look at this whole thing going on with Duran, Tobias, and then Stu's already gone, like, what are we doing, man? We are we gonna have Tolu Smith starting at the five next year? It's gonna be Tolu Smith and the freaking second round rookie we just drafted, man. Like Onion So or whatever his name is. Like we better go out and sign someone, man. You gotta sign someone, you gotta trade for someone. But the goal is, I think, is to re-sign Duran. The Tobias thing, I can't tell you. I can't tell you for sure that anything good's gonna come out of that. But from what I've heard, it's not looking too good. Nobody to really go after that. Will move the needle, yeah. Um, it's there's a couple names that like, I mean for center wise, I mean there's really not much, right? Like there's really not much you could go out and get. I think like looking at the sign and trade with Duran, like yeah, you could probably you could probably do a sign and trade with the Kings and get Sabonis. I wouldn't be opposed to that, but like at the same time, man, like I can't imagine the season starting next year and Duran not being on this team. I really think we will re-sign him. But yeah, what's going on though, everyone? I appreciate y'all for being in here. If anyone's in here and wants to throw something in the chat, I will respond to anyone. We'll talk about whatever. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, if you feel like it. And yeah, there's a lot to talk about. So we've had a lot of new people join too. Um, yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on everything because it's been some crazy stuff going on. And I think free agency starts tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Vinny said, "Oh, Vinny! Oh my gosh, thank you. I completely forgot that we re-signed Kevin Herter today. I completely forgot. I was gonna throw that in one of my slides, and I completely forgot. Thank you. Um, and we re-signed Herter, but want to trade my boy Duncan. Trey needs to go. I had enough already. Man, like, look for Trey's sake, I'll say this: he got us to the number one seed this year, right? Now, how much of that was him is debatable, right? Because was it really just Cade Cunningham, just like, and Jalen Duren? Because Trajan Langdon had nothing to do with Cade Cunningham being here, or I guess he did like re-sign him, but like Trajan Langdon did not draft him, Duren, whoever. So the Kevin Herter signing to me was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen. We literally just signed that guy to a 3-year, $27 million deal after he played like 5 games for us. Like what is that? Here's what I'll say though, Vinny. I think we might be doing that for like we might be trading him. I'm assuming that we're going to probably trade um Kevin Herter. I honestly forgot he was on the team. Like I literally did. But yeah, like I'm assuming like Karras, Sasser, and Herter might all be getting traded, and we might be trading him for. We might be sending him in a package with Duren. Man, I don't know. Um, Troy said, I don't know if we can give Duren 25% of the cap when he's number 3 option on the championship team. 100% true. 100% true. Like Duren is asking for literally, like you said, a quarter of the entire cap for a dude who can't shoot the ball. He's an okay passer and is honestly not the best defender. So, man, I 100% agree. You said you don't mind overloading on shooters. I'd rather have too many shooters than not enough. Well, look what all these teams are doing nowadays, right? Like, look at the Thunder, man. They've got an entire team of shooters. Look at the Warriors. They've always been so good because they have an entire team of shooters. So you're right. The issue is that guys like Sasser, who I love Sasser. He does not get, he doesn't get any minutes. He doesn't play. And then we just drafted Ibuka Corey. So I assume Sasser's gone. Karras, I honestly like Karras as a good backup guard, but his contract's too high. I think we need to trade him. And you know what? I'll keep Herter. I'll keep Herter. He's an elite shooter, but then again, are we gonna play him or are we just gonna let him ride the bench all year, making $9 million? Um, so yeah, Kali said Bickerstaff is the real MVP of the first place team last year. Yeah, I'll agree with that. His coaching was phenomenal. Um, Definitely not a. I wouldn't say he's like perfect in any sense, but man, like he should have won. I think he should have won Coach of the Year this year. I will stand on that. I will always stand on that. I think he got robbed. I think they gave Joe Mazzulla, the head coach, the Coach of the Year because of the whole Tatum injury, and then they get bounced in the first round with Tatum. It's like really, but yeah, no, I think Bickerstaff's an awesome coach, and Cade Cunningham deserves a lot of that credit too because he's been phenomenal. And then you also said Hornets live by the gun, die by the gun, man. Hey, we could we'll talk about Miles Bridges real quick because I don't think you were in here for this. But yeah, y'all keep throwing stuff in the chat, man. I'll keep getting to it. We'll talk about whatever. But man, here I want to. I'll be right back home. I got to show you guys something. Cause I got 2 of them in here. There we go. Look at this shit. I got the Miles Bridges Hornets jersey. I bought this in like 2020 or some shit. And then I got that Ja Morant Grizzlies jersey, dude. Like 2 of my freaking favorite players, man. 2 of my favorite players gone. But obviously, you know, I'm a Pistons fan first, always will be. But Bridges and Ja Morant were literally 2 of like my favorite players outside of guys like Cade Cunningham Durin, Beef Stew, whatever. But man, like, it sucks to see him go. But I mean, what can we just? What are the Hornets doing? Like, they were one game away from making the playoffs, and now all of a sudden they are getting rid of Lamelo Ball, getting rid of Bridges, and they didn't really get much in return out of either of them. So I don't know what they're doing, man. It's a interesting situation to say the least. I really don't know what's going on, but we'll see. I think for the Suns, for the Phoenix Suns, I mean, great move. You know, you got him in a first round pick in a couple years for in a second round pick for what Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a 2033 first round pick, so some middle schooler. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the Hornets are doing, man. They just threw away their entire franchise. You know, I get maybe moving on from the players that have been here for a while are getting paid a lot, but I don't know, man. I didn't like that move. You just bought a beef stew jersey late this past season. That sucks, man. Dude, like I don't know why did we trade beef stew, man? Like I'll never understand that. I think that I get it's a business and I get shit happens, but dude, the fact that we went out and we traded beef stew for a bag of Doritos and like a Kool Aid, man, like good lord, like I cannot believe that we did that. But man, that sucks though. Hey, at least you got the jersey though. Like that's beef stew will be Detroit legend, man. Like we all love beef stew. Like that's a jersey I'd love to have too, because that dude represented everything about Detroit, everything about the Detroit Pistons. So, um, but yeah, man, that sucks that you got a jersey this year. But yeah, he's only 25. Yeah, yeah, he was drafted in. He was in the same class with Killian Hayes, wasn't he? And Sadiq Bey, I think. Um, so he was only in was it year six? I think he was drafted in. Was he drafted in 2020? I think he was. Um, yeah, super young, talented dude. And look at how much he developed. Like this dude came into the league with no really offensive game to him, and he learned how to shoot the three ball. Man, he learned how to develop some post moves. Like this dude came in here and he was a Detroit legend. We'll just say that. But yeah, man, it sucks. It sucks to see him go. I think I think him leaving hurt honestly just as much of the whole like Jaden Ivey thing. Like I really liked Jaden Ivey. I know it wasn't ever like a great fit, but I really liked him and his potential. But Beef Stew leaving, man, like that shit really hit me. But but yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I mean Miles Bridges. See how he does in Phoenix for the Hornets. Oops, I accidentally just turned on my Siri. Whoops. Oh, Troy. Troy said we traded Stu for 3 seconds. We got Joe for 2 seconds. So essentially, we did Stu for Joe and a second. I love Stu. We upgraded his shooting. You know what, Troy? When you put it like that, that's a good point. I will also say this though. So when we traded Stu, we got 3 seconds, right? We traded that with the Memphis Grizzlies. So they got Stu, we got 3 seconds. But if the day before that was the NBA draft, and we traded up 4 spots with the Memphis Grizzlies for 3 second round picks. So essentially, we traded Beef Stew for Abuka Corey. But then again, like you said, you can also look at it as we got Isaiah Joe for basically or we got Isaiah Joe and a second round pick for Beef Stew. Yeah, if you look at it like that, that makes me feel a lot better, right? Because you got one of the better three shooters in the league. Um, a guy that's probably going to come off our bench and just light it up, which I really like that move. I think that was the best move we've made so far this offseason. Definitely a big fan of the Isaiah. We talked about that in the last live stream, and man, I loved that move. That was like one of the best moves that we could have made. And you got him for not like 2 second round picks. That's nothing, man. Like you got a really good player right there. So I'm very happy about that. Isaiah Joe he'll fit good here, I think. So yeah. Vinny said, drafted in 2020. Beef Stew was drafted in 2020. I like the emojis. by Portland, and we got his rights in that three-team trade. Then he gets traded for a box of condoms after he puts the entire team on his back and gives us an identity. Yeah, like I think you put it as good as it could be. I always like saying like you got traded for a bag of Doritos, but a box of condoms is probably a better way to put it. Um, just insane that we traded him for nothing. And I mean, like Troy did say though, we did get Isaiah Joe for 2 seconds, but obviously I would have much rather have kept Beef Stew and then given up 2 seconds to get Isaiah Joe, right? So, um, but yeah, it sucks to see him go, man. He was really good. Like if you look at the impact Beef Stew had, he was one of the best rim protectors in the league. And I already talked about his development in like offensive game. So yeah, Troy said might have been Trajan's best move, which I'm assuming you're talking about the Isaiah Joe trade. Um, Either that or the beef stew trade. Um, it might have been his best move. He sucks as a drafter. 100%, agree. He is a like. I mean, why am I blanking on who we drafted this past year? Because we got Ron Holland the year before. But I don't think that was Trajan, was it? Why am I blanking? Who was our rookie this year? Um, I'm blanking right now. I don't know what's going on. I think I've been talking too much, but like you said, his drafting has been. Oh, it was Ches Lanier this year, wasn't it? I think it was just Ches Lanier this past year as a rookie. Which I mean, like I don't hate Ches Lanier, but like, dude, he never plays. Um, but like you said, like his drafting has it's been really bad. Like the one thing I always give Troy Weaver, the previous GM, was that he knew how to draft. Right now, I get like Cade Cunningham was the obvious pick, Jaden Ivey was the obvious pick, um, and Jalen Duren. I'll give him credit there. That was a really good move. Um, and then the he also got like Asar Thompson, which best defender in the league. I mean, okay, but the dude could not make a trade and could not do anything in free agency. So now you have a GM who can't draft, but can do pretty well in free agency. Now, again, I don't love the Isaiah Stewart trade, but the Isaiah Joe trade, we'll take that, right? We'll take that. Um, Trade Johnson, yeah. We Callie said we lost a lot of intangibles that Stu brought to the Pistons. The identity and attitude known as Detroit basketball. Yeah, like I said earlier, he was the heart and soul of this team. He was the enforcer. He would, if he saw any commotion going on that court, what was he doing? He was sliding in there like he didn't care, bro. He didn't care if he's getting suspended. He didn't care about none of that. He was sliding. He was defending his guys. So I will always appreciate Beef Stew for that. Um, uh, Vinny said Trey drafted Holland, but that was a bad draft. And yes, he drafted Chaz. And then Troy also said drafted Ron number 5, and I love Ron, but he got no playtime in the playoffs. He won't live up to number 5. Great take, Troy. And yeah, thank you, Vinny, for confirming that he drafted Chaz. I didn't know he drafted Holland. So is this going to be his? Oh yeah, because I think we got Troy right after that Monty Williams season, and that's when we drafted Ron. Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, so we drafted Ron at 5. I'll say this about Ron Holland. I'm a big Ron stan. Like I really like him as a player. Now his fit on this team is not there, because you already have a Sar Thompson, right? And neither him or Ron can shoot, but they were both terrific defenders, great playmakers, and Ron is actually a pretty good scorer. Like even Asar's a good scorer. There's not good shooters, but Ron, honestly, I see a lot of potential in him, and he showed a lot of flashes this year that he can be a good shooter. So honestly, man, I don't know. I like Ron. I hope we don't trade him. I'm a big fan of him, but like you said, Troy, you don't think he'll ever live number 5 pick? No, not even close. No number 5 picks coming off the bench, getting 0 minutes in the playoffs. I don't know what that was about, by the way. Why were we not playing Ron Holland in the playoffs? Like he's a good player. So I don't know what that was about, but Troy also said Weaver. Um, Troy Weaver built this whole team and set us up for success, completely cleared our books. So we had stacked young talent and huge cap space. Trey's done nothing but waste Cade's window so far. Yeah, I don't disagree. That's one thing I always loved about. One sec, I gotta plug my. Oh, I don't even think I. Oh no, I can. That was one thing I always loved about Troy Weaver. the dude knew how to draft. He built his team from the ground up, and now the coaching was the biggest thing. And it sucks. It sucks that Trajan's kind of came in here. I mean, again, like Trajan is dealing with. I mean, he had a number 5 pick, and I didn't. That was a really, like, let's be honest. That 2024 draft class was terrible. Like, literally the worst draft class I've ever seen in my life. So really, you can't be too upset. Like, Ron Holland's a pretty good player. He just doesn't play much. But yeah, Marcus Newsom said Sabonis, Joe Duncan would make us a top 3 point shooting team in the East. Sabonis is better rebounder too. Marcus, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, if we did a sign and trade with the Kings and we got Sabonis, because I wasn't for sure, but I think you kind of confirmed it. Sabonis can shoot the 3 ball. Like, come on now. And he's a better defender and he's a better rebounder. Okay. If we go trade for Sabonis, honestly, can't say I'd be that upset. I mean, Duran's kind of being a dick, right? Like, I wanted to keep him, but now, like, the way he's acting, he's kind of being a dick. But yeah, and then Kali also said he agrees with Troy, for sure. Troy said he keeps being patient and drafting project players and hesitating at the deadline when we're the number one seed. When we're number one seed was unexcusable. Yeah, Troy. Here, this is what I'll say. I'm a big like, by the books guy. Like, if I'm a GM, right, and I'm a contending team that has a contending team, we don't need draft picks that are projects, right? We're not really looking. I mean, we're looking at the future, but we're not looking at the future 5 years from now. We're looking at right now, the next season, and the year after that. We do not need, like, all these, like, we could have traded the next 2 or 3 first round picks, and I wouldn't be that upset. We have such a young team of play. Like, Cade's gonna be here for most of his career, if not all of it. You have so many young players that I know you got to pay them, but we do not need all these first round picks. Like, honestly, like, I wouldn't mind packing up a couple first round picks and going and getting, like, a, I don't know who's out there. I mean, I'm not saying I want to get rid of all of our future picks, but, like, I mean, I don't. If you go give up a future first round pick, that's fine. We could have easily traded a first round pick this year, and instead of drafting Ibuka, who, again, we already have Marcus Sasser on this team. So, but yeah, he keeps drafting these project players, hesitating at the deadline. Yeah, 100%. Hesitating at the deadline. I don't know what that's about, man. But yeah, Marcus, I definitely agree though with the whole Sabonis, Isaiah Joe, and Duncan Robinson. That would be an insane 3 shooting team. Along with Cade, who's a pretty good 3 shooter. We'll see. Kali said, I know you like Sabonis. He's a nice player, scores, rebounds, but that's it. He doesn't really fit our team. Well, here's the thing, Kali. I'll say this. You also said Sabonis is not that better of a defender and is not a lob threat. Cade will do some assists. Yeah, so that's my one defending point about Duren is how good of a lob threat he is, right? Like, him and Cade's connection is one of the best parts about this team. So I will agree with you there. But he is, as you said, he's a nice player, scores, rebounds. That's it. But here's the thing with Duren though. What does Duren do? He scores, he rebounds, and that's it, right? He is a better lob threat than Sabonis. He's not a better defender than Sabonis because Sabonis he's a pretty good defender. He's a pretty good defender. Duren's not a terrible defender. Like, I feel like a lot of people shit on him for his defense. He's not a terrible defender, but I would say Sabonis is a better defender. And but so what do you want? Do you want better defense, or do you want better defense and less lob threat, or not quite as good defense but more of a lob threat? It really just depends. But also, if you can save money with having Sabonis, why not? But 100%, I do agree, Kali. I would rather keep Duren. Duren, I want in Detroit. But sometimes you just, I don't know. I wish I could be the GM, man. I don't know. But you also don't want to overpay Duren, though, too, right? Troy said Cade, Joe, Monk, Asar, Sabonis would be stacked. Absolutely, it would. Plus, you add in, Duncan in there. You add in some of these other bench guys, and we'll probably go sign someone else too. Sabonis is better on offense than Duren, just more injury prone, which is risky. Yeah, Duren's been very healthy his whole career, or most of his career. Sabonis has definitely dealt with a lot of injuries. That's one of probably his biggest downsides. So yeah, and I think Sabonis is a pretty good lob threat too. Duren's probably the best lob threat in the league, to be honest. I mean, him and Cade had the most alley oops the last 2 years. So yeah, 100% agree that Duren is a better lob threat, but Sabonis is definitely a little bit better. I would say a little better, like, shooting wise. Post moves, Duran's got some really good post moves, but I'll give him that. If it was up to this is Marcus Newsom. He said if it was up to me, I would trade with the Lakers for their bigs. Yeah, I do. Wait, let me pull up this article. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Um, I would trade for the Lakers for their bigs and some picks. Aiton, ooh, Aiton, Jackson Hayes, and Roy Hachimura. Unprotected first to Detroit for Duran. Um, ooh, and uh, and Holland as well. Wow. Yeah, honestly, if we weren't to get Sabonis, I was saying earlier, Marcus, that I honestly would not mind having so the two teams that we're looking at are the Kings for Sabonis, um, or the Lakers with Aiton. So Troy just said that Marcus, or sorry, he said that Roy Hachimura is a free agent. Yeah, so that is the thing, and but here's the thing, Troy, there could if we were to do a sign and trade, um, we with Duran to the Lakers, they might do a sign and trade back. If we want Roy Hachimura, we'll probably just do a sign and trade as well. But you are right, because the thing is we control Duran where he goes, whereas Hachimura can just walk. Like he doesn't have to do a sign and trade. He can just walk. Whereas if the Lakers want to sign Duran, we can just match it. So yeah, Hachimura would replace Tobias. There you go. So I talked earlier about Tobias and his whole situation. It sounds like he might be leaving. We don't know for sure, but it's not sounding very good for him being re-signed. So hoping to I Hachimura wouldn't be a terrible replacement for Tobias. I wouldn't say that would be my top option, but it'd probably be like top three or four. I'd love to see like John Collins here. I think he'd fit us very well. But if you go do a sign and trade with the Lakers and you can get me Aiton, you can get me Hachimura and maybe Jackson Hayes as well. And that trade package, who sent that trade package? Marcus did. I honestly really like that trade package. Now, obviously, I would love to keep Ron Holland, but it's not the greatest. He doesn't get enough play time. I feel like, and I think he would fit the Lakers well too. So yeah, um, but definitely Hachimura would be sweet. Aiton I'd be okay with him. He's not as good as Duran, no doubt. He's a decent lob threat, not a great defender, okay rebounder, but like if you got to do what you got to do, then wouldn't be the end of the world as long as you get something good in return, right? Kali, man, I appreciate you, man. He said, "Hey guys, show support, hit that like button for the latest Detroit Pistons news and discussion." Yes, sir. If you guys are watching right now, throw something down that chat if you haven't already, or if you have, either way. We're just talking about really anything. It can be Detroit Lions related, Detroit Pistons related. We've been talking a lot about the Pistons, so keep that up. But if you haven't already, hit that like button. It means a lot. And you don't have to, but hit that subscribe button as well if you want to see more of these lives, because I'm going to try and do these more. It's been fun. But yeah, I do appreciate that, Kali, man. That means a lot. But yeah, Marcus said Cade 1, Joe 2, Sar 3, Hachimura 4, 8 and 5 would be a good starting five in the East. Yeah, wouldn't be terrible. Yeah, you would have Isaiah Joe or Duncan Robinson. I mean, really either. I mean, I honestly personally think probably Isaiah Joe is a better defender than Duncan, no doubt. I think anyone can agree with that. And then shooting wise, I mean, he is a more efficient shooter. I think Duncan's just a little bit better of like a playmaker, because he can pass pretty well, and he's more of a he's a good catch and shoot guy, but Isaiah Joe can actually create for himself a little bit too. Like he's actually I've seen some tape of him, and he can create for himself as well. So I'll have to do for my next live. I'll have to do I need a blanket, man. It's freaking cold down here. The AC. For my next live, I'll have to do like a mock Detroit Pistons roster. Maybe I'll make like a couple of them, maybe a couple mock trades and stuff. I mean, today we literally just we had so much to talk about, so I didn't really do too much. I just wanted to kind of get to the news. But Kali said no to Aiton. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't love Aiton. I wouldn't love it. Obviously compared to Duran, he's a bit of a downgrade. Um, but if you were able to get like Marcus said, if you're able to go out and get Hachimura and maybe someone else as well. Like we're not gonna get LeBron, we're not gonna get Luca, but like if you could go get um a couple of players, I mean Aiton wouldn't be the end of the world. I wouldn't if we were to trade for DeAndre Ayton and a couple players for Duran, I don't think I would be like I mean I would be upset because obviously I want to keep Duran, right? Like that's my whole thing is keep Duran, give him his money, whatever you got to do, keep Jalen Duran. But I still don't love. I wouldn't love the DeAndre Ayton as our starter. But if you were to get, Hachimura would be nice. Troy said still feels like we need more. We need another star in our lineup. I honestly 100% agree. I think Troy is 100% right here. Um, because Cade is when you really look at it, man. You have Cade, Isaiah Joe, and Asar as your front court or your back court, right? And that's all right. Asar's I would say Asar's a star, but he has no offensive capabilities. Where Isaiah Joe is a borderline bench player who is just a really good shooter and an okay defender. And Hachimura is all right, but again, he's not a great. He's like a Tobias Harris level guy. And then Aiton is like he's a he's a good player, nothing much more. But yeah, Marcus Newsom said Aiden would get better with Cade. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Aiden's only 27, so technically he's just entering his prime. Yeah, I mean 27 is not a terrible age. I mean, I think yeah, if you throw Aiden on the Pistons and we actually start him and use him, I don't think it would be the worst. I think you might see some growth out of him. I remember there was rumors like a couple years ago we were gonna get Aiden. I remember I was like, yeah, I'd be fine with that. But honestly, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate. I think Duran could definitely provide. Kali said keep Duran, add John Collins and Norman Powell. Yeah, Kali, I'd have to agree with you there. Keep Duran number one priority, right? I think you're better off keeping him unless you do a sign and trade for Sabonis. I wouldn't be too upset with that, but I would rather keep Duran. Keep Duran because he's got the team chemistry. He's that lob threat for Cade. He's getting better as well. He's working on his shot. He's a solid defender. And then you also said add John Collins is who I really want to get. If we're gonna let go of Tobias Harris, go get John Collins, man. He'd be a great fit here along with Cade. He's pretty good shooter too. And Norman Powell, another really good shooter. Hell yeah. I think Norman Powell to Detroit feels more and more likely every day. I could definitely see that. And John Collins as well. But yeah, look how stacked the Knicks starting lineup is. We need Norm Powell level guy at minimum. Yeah, Troy and Kali are on the same page. Um, is someone let me know? Well, actually, I'll just look it up. So, Norman, Norman, I want to see his height real quick because I don't know. Can he start at the? He's 6'4", so yeah, he's like a shooting guard. Damn, he averaged 22 points per game. Okay, I thought he was like 18 points per game. I didn't know he was averaging 20. Damn. Yeah, Norman Powell. I'd love to see that. But obviously, same with John Collins would be sick. Marcus said not enough money to keep Darren Collins and Powell. So I don't disagree with that. Now here's the thing, Marcus. If we were to let's say we were to trade Karis LeVert, maybe Ron Holland, maybe Kevin Herter, maybe Marcus Sasser, any of those four. Um, if we were to trade any of those four guys, plus let go of Tobias Harris, right? Because John Collins would probably replace him, unless I mean I'd love to have Tobias come off the bench, but I don't know if he'd want that, and I don't know if that'll happen. If you were to do all that, let Tobias go, we already have, I think, the money to keep Duran because we got rid of Beef Stew, freed up a little cap. Um, but to get all three of those guys, yeah, you're pushing it, right? That's a lot of money right there. So I don't know. We'll see. But you're definitely I don't disagree. There's definitely that's a lot of money to keep those guys. Kali said he is an unrestricted free agent. We can match any offer Darren gets. He would have to force his way out. Yeah, 100% true. You're definitely right. I mean, Darren, we get to we get all the rights to Duran, right? Like that's the whole thing is we get the rights to Jalen Duran. So yeah, I think it really just comes down to if he can stop being a dickhead and just accept an offer. Like he thinks he deserves all this money, and he deserves to get paid, but he does not deserve $45 million. You know what I mean? He does not deserve that per year. Kali said Duncan Robinson's getting paid 14 mil. Um, yeah, yeah, it's like 14, 15 mil, somewhere in between there. I like Duncan, man. Like he's a good player. He's a guy who I personally think is more of a bench guy, right? Like I would rather him come off the bench than be a starter. But at the same time, he can start. Like he can start. He proved that last year that he might not always have a great game, right? He might put up 6 points one night, but then the next night he might put up 18. He's just a good three shooter. He's a catch and shoot guy. He spaces the floor, and he's a good passer too. But with Isaiah Joe on the team, man, I wonder if maybe he starts this year. I could definitely see it. Isaiah Joe's got some talent. Um, but yeah, we got 10 people in here right now, guys. What is going on? I appreciate y'all. If y'all are in here, feel free to hit that like button, and if you feel like it, hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. On my road, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so I'm trying my hardest to get there. So throw something down in the chat, say what up. Let me know what y'all want to talk about. I'm just responding to everyone right now. So let me know. Marcus said people always forget Javante Green, man. Yeah, I forgot. He's more of like a third stringer guy, but like I love Javante, man. He needs to. But you said, but I can't believe he doesn't get any trade buzz. Yeah, I think he should get more minutes. 100% agree. He's a player kind of like Ron Holland, who I think deserves more minutes. Same with Sasser. Sasser's a big guy. I think deserves more minutes. Javante Green this year, though, like, can we talk about the year he had? Like, he would just come in and like play like 5 minutes and put up like 10 points. Like, it was insane. Like he was a legit good backup for us, and he's more of like a third stringer, like kind of like what B-ball Paul was this year, where like they didn't play much. In the regular season, they did a little bit, but Javante, man, he's a dog. Like we do have Javante, and he's a great player. Kali said I like him too, but we don't need both Robinson and Herter. Well, which one would you rather keep, Kali? I would rather keep Robinson. I think we should just trade Herter. I'm not sure why the fuck we re-signed him to begin with, but I just think I don't disagree. I would like to keep as many shooters as we can, but we already have quite a few. After drafting Ibuka, you already have Danis Jenkins. Don't forget about him. And you have Isaiah Joe, Duncan Robinson, Kate Cunningham. It's like we got a surplus of guards. So I don't disagree though. Troy said he's not mad at Duran. He should get paid. Our coaches need to let him play. He can shoot more, and they're allowing him to. Same with Asar. I've been saying that a lot too, Troy. Troy's definitely on the same page as me. Duran, I feel like Asar too. Asar too, for sure. I'm not saying Asar's a great shooter, but you can see it. You could see it the whole playoffs towards the end of the regular season. Like the dude was afraid to take a shot. Like I get you're playing. I get he's playing his role, right? His role is to go out there and facilitate on offense. Cut and get a nice layup for if Cade passes it to him, and then just go crazy on defense. He knows his role. But Asar Thompson, man, like if you become a decent scorer and shooter, like you are literally one of the best players in the league. I'm not sure why we don't let him go crazy more. And same with Duran. Dude, I was watching some summer league clips of Duran a couple days ago, and the dude was just out there playing. Like he was just taking jump shots, he was taking three shots. Like let Duran needs to get out there and just fucking shoot the ball, man. Like show that you're worth the 45 million. You know what I mean? I definitely agree, Troy. Kali said they think Herter can be a Robinson, but I don't see it. They may move Robinson in his 14 million contract. Yeah, Robinson is better than Kevin Herter. Kevin Herter is a nice like bench guy, and I wouldn't mind using him more. He came in and gave us some buckets in a couple games last year, but like I don't disagree that I think they signed him to, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe today they signed him to a 27 million 3-year deal, which isn't terrible, but again, why are we signing a guy that we never played? And also, is that worth keeping over? Is that worth keeping over Duncan? Like for that extra 5 million? I don't think so. I'd rather keep Duncan. And then Kali also said Stu's 15 mil, Robinson 14, and LeVert 15. Yeah, so you're gonna have to move on. Well, you already moved on from Stu, so more than likely you're moving on from either LeVert or Duncan, maybe both. I would probably get rid of LeVert's contract. He didn't play enough or have as much of an impact as I wish he did. I'd love to see him play more, and he's a good player, but he didn't really perform super well for us this year, except for the playoffs. He did well. Marcus said Javante Green could have been our shooting guard. In my opinion, he was Bickerstaff's biggest mistake. He's a playmaker on both ends of the court and missed opportunity. He needs more minutes. Without a doubt, agree. He's a great defender, and he's like I think he's like six. I don't know. I think he's 6'5". I think he is. He might be 6'4". Good size, great shooter. He was hitting shots all year. He came in every single time. He was like same thing with B-ball Paul. B-ball Paul would come in, and what would he do? He'd just give us straight work. Like he's a work guy. Javante Green was the same thing. They were both third stringers. They'd come in and they'd give us buckets. They'd give us good minutes. So definitely definitely agree. Him and I think him, B-ball Paul, and like Ron Holland and Sasser. Those were four of the biggest mistakes. Not letting those guys kind of play and run more in the playoffs was probably the reason we lost the Cavs, I think. And probably why we struggled with the Magic so bad. I mean, the Magic series that was bad. Um, Troy said Herter's a knockdown shooter off the bench. Never hurts to have that in case of an injury. I agree. I definitely think. The thing is, Troy, is why didn't we play him at all this year? Was it just because that we had just signed him like in February and like we didn't really want to, put a player in there that wasn't around the team that much? I don't know. Personally, I would like to see because I mean, if you Troy, like, do you remember those games where like we would just put in Herter and like he gave us 21 game because we actually played him. Like when we actually play him and give him valuable minutes, I think he could be a good player for us. Like he's a knockdown shooter and that's it, right? Kind of like Duncan. He just comes in and he gets you buckets. So I don't mind that. I think 9 million's a little high for him. I would have given him maybe 5 or 6. But then again, I'm not a GM, whatever. So, but I don't disagree. I think that he's a good player to have and a nice bench guy for sure. But then also we do have so many guards on this team right now. Like it's insane. Like we're gonna have to trade and get rid of somebody. Sasser, Levert, Kevin Herter. There's maybe Duncan. You never know. Kali said he agrees and he loves Javante Green. Extremely underrated. Yeah. Oh, so he did play. He got injured. So yeah, I remember Troy. I remember in the playoffs he did have the little injury thing going on, but it felt like even right after we signed him, like in February, like up until the playoffs, I just don't remember seeing. I only remember him playing in maybe like 3 or 4 games where he actually had like decent minutes. You know what I mean? But I don't disagree. Like if Duncan Robinson was to go down with an injury or Isaiah Joe, this could be your filling guy off the bench, right? So I don't disagree there. I would just like to see him play more. I would like to see him get more minutes. I think we didn't really utilize him enough. And I know he was, like you said, he definitely was dealing with injuries, especially towards the end of the season. But I feel like even before that, he wasn't really getting enough minutes. I only really remember him having a few good games for us, which again, is that his fault or was that the injuries and the coaching, whatever. So, but yeah. Yeah, keep these shots coming, coming though, guys. You guys are nailing it right now. You guys have had a lot of good takes, a lot of good topics of conversation, a lot of Pistons talk tonight. Um, but yeah, let me know anything else that you guys are thinking. Kali said Beasley and yeah, he got addicted. Really liked him and hopefully we can bring him back. I guess we finally let go of that possibility. Yeah. So, earlier before you got in here, Kali, we were talking about him, and yeah, it sucked, man. Like, I remember reading that. Forget I forget when it happened. I think it was like afternoonish, but I remember reading that and like, because I mean we've been waiting for literally months for like I remember and like you said like that possibility. Like I remember mid season like Beasley was talking about coming back and like there was a really good possibility and I honestly was holding out hope. I was like, dang, we might actually re-sign Beasley mid season and just fucking go on a crazy run in the playoffs. Because what was this Pistons team missing this season? It was him. We needed that guy off the bench that could get us buckets, and we didn't have him. Um, but yeah, I without a doubt agree. Like that was that sucked to see him go because he was such an important part to this team. He was one of the biggest reasons that we made the playoffs last year. So it hurt seeing that, but I think after the last couple months, I was kind of expecting that because honestly, like the dude was just he made a bad mistake. He really did, but it sucks to see him. I mean, I feel like it's good to finally put that to rest. Now we don't have to think about that, worry about that anymore. We can kind of just move on and plan for the future for Beasley or for filling in Beasley's gap and getting in a different player besides him and not having to wonder if he's going to be on the team. But yeah, man, it definitely was definitely was sad knowing like he's probably never even going to play in the NBA again. So crazy stuff though, man. But I mean, it's his own fault. He did it to himself, right? Like he really he really messed up. It sucks, but and he didn't do that. I don't think on the Pistons. I think those like the things that he was doing was from like a couple years ago. But freaking sucks, man. It really does. But yeah. Anything else? Anything else y'all got for me? I'm not planning on ending stream quite yet. Probably in the next like 30 minutes or so. I mean, it's only 12:19. It's not too bad. But yeah, if y'all got anything else to talk, if not, I'll just talk about some other random stuff. Um, I feel like we've hit pretty much everything. I mean, we talked about Terrion earlier. Talked about the Bridges trade, John Morant trade, Beasley situation, Duran and his contract stuff, Tobias, and we got a little JMO talk in there too. Um, but yeah, anything else y'all want to talk about? It can be anything. It can be, I mean, roster predictions, free agency for the Pistons, man, whatever y'all want. If not, I'll just, I don't know. I might talk about that Ja trade again because I didn't talk about that for too long. Um, Troy said, any chance we're gonna include Duncan in a trade now? Did Joe take his starting spot? It's a good question. I can't tell you for certain that I can't tell you for certain what I think. I personally would assume we're gonna keep Duncan Robinson because I think the dude is a good fit for us, right? Like we need that shooting, we need that floor spacing for Cade, and I think he proved this year, starting like the whole season, that like he's a damn good player. Like he can play for us. So I don't think we're gonna. I think if we're gonna trade anyone, Troy, I think it's gonna probably be Karras Karras or Sasser. I think that those two would probably be more likely to be traded, but I definitely don't disagree that I think Isaiah Joe could take a spot. He's a better defender, honestly, and a little bit better of a scorer. So we'll see. I'm him said I hope Warriors get Bron and AD. I heard about those rumors today, man. Um I heard about the Warriors are interested in getting Anthony Davis. It sounds like they're going to, who was it that they were talking about sending over? I think it was Jimmy Butler. They might be sending Jimmy Butler over for AD. That would be crazy. That would be. Could you imagine Steph, Bron, and AD on the same team? That would. For some reason, I just think the NBA is going to do that, and it's going to be so fucking stupid. But I honestly would love to see it though, just because it's like LeBron's final year, Curry's getting older, AD's getting older, like one final run at it, and seeing Bron and Steph on the same team would be so sick, dude. I would love it. That'd be sweet. Troy said if we sign Norman Powell and Hachimura, that would really be solid. Then re-sign Duran and Asar. Yeah, I would say that those are probably two of our top moves we can make right now. I think Powell would literally like, if I think when we sign Powell, you probably would need to trade somebody, but I don't know. I don't really know. You guys keep saying you think they'll move on from Robinson, but yeah, I could see Norman Powell and Hachimura here. I'd love to see John Collins here as well, and obviously keep Duran and Asar for sure. And then Kali said trading for Joe, re-signing her. You think they're moving on from Robinson? Well, you can't forget we do have Karis LeVert. We still have Marcus Sasser. Like, what do you guys think we're gonna move on from them as well, or do you think they want to get rid of Duncan's contract? And then I'm him also said I think that they'll make the playoffs. Yeah, if you have Bron, AD, Steph, all on the same team, I think without a doubt, like if the thing is though is are they going to stay healthy? Right, that's the thing. So Kali agrees with Troy, and then I'm him also said, and I'm saying that because the Warriors are my favorite team. Yeah, respect, man. I really like the Warriors too. I think I wouldn't say they're probably like one of my top five favorite teams. I love Steph Curry. Steph Curry's like one of my favorite players of all time. Um, I was just in San Francisco this like couple weeks ago, and it was fun. I'd been there. I was there last year too, but I love being in the Bay Area, man. It's a nice city. It gets a bad rep for what it is, but I think if the Warriors, I feel like the Warriors will for sure probably make a move for AD. The whole LeBron thing, I really do, I can't tell you for certain that they would go for him, but it would be pretty freaking sick, dude. Um, and Kylie said yes. Yeah, it'd be sick to see LeBron and Curry on the same team, man. That would be so fun. It reminds me of the Olympics from a couple years ago. But yeah, we'll see. I definitely think I don't know. The thing is I kind of hope the Wizards do keep AD because I think the Wizards core right now is looking really good. Like the Wizards to me are going to be in the playoffs next year, but honestly, I don't know. I'm him said, but if we get AD, then we just got to make sure that he doesn't get hurt. Yeah, that's the thing though. Is AD is known for getting hurt. That's the thing, right? So if he stays healthy like he did back in 2020 with the Lakers and LeBron, what they do, they win and won it all, right? So if AD, honestly, like if I'm the Warriors, like just get in the playoffs, right? Like just get in the playoffs. Rest AD as much as you can to keep him healthy, but make sure you get like a top, hopefully top 5 to 6 seed. Um, but yeah, I think, especially the IQ they have, yeah, him and Curry would be a lethal duo, and I would assume that team would be a contender. Um, but then again, like if it all comes down to them staying healthy, like if they can stay healthy, that's really what's going to come down to. But yeah, I would say the West, if that were to happen, the West is going to be between obviously the Thunder, obviously the Spurs. Those are going to be your top two. But then outside of that, like you've got maybe the Nuggets, maybe the Wolves, and then probably the Warriors. So, but yeah, Kali said the Wizards have a vision, man. The Wizards, to me, right now, have are having one of the best rebuilds. Now, obviously, they haven't proved anything yet, right? Like they're still a terrible team. But heading into next year, I personally think they have potential. I'm not gonna sit here and promise you they're gonna make the playoffs, but I really do think that this will be a team that will be in the play-in next year if they keep AD and he stays healthy. Because I think with Trey Young, you just got and drafted AJ Diabonte, who's one of my favorite players in the draft, and then you also went out. You already have the young guys from last year like Kaishan George, Alex Sarr. That would be a crazy team. Yeah, the Wizards to me, phew, it's looking good for them. On him said, if we can get all three, Curry barely ever gets hurt. Yeah, LeBron never really gets injured, and AD gets hurt a lot. Yeah, yeah. LeBron never really gets hurt. It's usually him just kind of taking like breaks because he's older, right? Like he's what like I think he's like 42 or something like that, maybe 43. But like, um, but yeah, I would think for sure that if you were to get all three, that would be probably one of the most fun teams to watch right there. Curry, LeBron, and AD. Fuck, man. Kali said, I don't really care for any of the Wizards players, but I can see the vision. Yeah, the vision's there. Like if they keep that roster the way it is, or maybe make one more decent move, they're gonna be looking good. Honestly, if they traded for Jimmy Butler, wouldn't be the worst thing. But the thing is, the Wizards need AD. They need a big, right? But so do the Warriors. I'm him said, and the Blazers traded for Ja. Yeah, let me pull that up. Where is it? There it is. Blazers traded for Ja. That trade was stupid. Yeah, what did you think was stupid about it? Did you think that the Grizzlies were stupid, or did you think that the Trailblazers were? Because personally, to me, I think Portland made a really, really interesting move to say the least. I think the Grizzlies, man, like what are they doing? Like they just went out and got rid of their entire 2022 squad, man. Like I mean, they really traded. Like same thing with the Hornets. The Hornets, I think, are stupid. Like getting rid of Bridges, getting rid of Lamelo. But yeah, that trade. Look at this trade detail, man. You have Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray for John Morant. Like what is that? What kind of trade is that? That is crazy. Never seen anything like that before. Um, but yeah, pretty interesting. That was an interesting one. When I saw that one earlier, or this one right here, I I was very shocked by that. Like the fact that the Grizzlies didn't even get like a pick or anything. Like Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray, really? Blazers because Grant is a good player and Murray is okay. Like just put job for agency at this point. Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. Grant is a good player. I will say that. Um, he's not John Morant level, but he's a good player. Um, but I will say that the Trailblazers definitely, I think, made a good decision. The thing is with John Morant, is he going to be on the court, right? Is he going to stay healthy, or is he going to, you know, go on Instagram Live, showing guns and shit again? So I don't know, but um, yeah, I mean Murray was a decent bench player, and Jeremy Grant was a solid starter for them. But I don't think Grant was important enough for them to really care. Um, but yeah, Collie said Jaw, Scoot, Sharp, the other guard. Oh, you're probably talking about Denny Advia. Not enough basketballs in Portland for that group. Yeah, you ain't wrong. That's what most people are saying. Most people are saying that they have no defense now, like the Trailblazers. I'm him said, yeah, they have too many guards. Yeah, I won't disagree with that. Like what bigs do they have? I guess they have Donovan Clingan. I don't even know if they have Robert Williams anymore. Oh, Drew Holiday. Yeah, you're right, Kylie. I forgot about him because Denny Avia is I think he's a 3 or 4. So Josh Scoot, Sharp, Drew Holiday. There's one other guy I think too, and then you have Advia. You have Donovan Clingan. I forget if they have Robert Williams still. It's an interesting team. It is, and they have Dame too. They have Dame. People forget they have Dame Lillard. Um, but he's still there. People forget about him, but he is still there. You're definitely not wrong though. They have a lot of guards. I think they need to. I mean, Scoot Henderson to me is probably not worth keeping. He's never really been what he was supposed to be. He's been a dud. I get he's only in year 2 though. So or no, he was in year 3 this year. So I don't know. Maybe give him another year, but um, especially that Lamelo trade, bro. The Wolves are dumb for doing that. I don't know. I think both teams were kind of stupid in that trade. I think the Hornets are giving up their best player who's been with them for a while, and the Hornets just got good. Like they just got to a point where they can make a playoff push. And they were one game away this year, and then you trade your two best players in Bridges and LaMelo. Um, I don't know. I don't really love that idea of just trading him away. But then for the Wolves as well, you just traded Nas Reed. Now you have no bigs, well, because they got rid of Julius Randle. So the Wolves are stuck with Rudy Gobert. Like really? So, but I can't lie. Lamelo and Ja might be fun to watch. But I just don't know if that duo will work out. We'll see. It'll be interesting, but I'm kind of excited for the Wolves. We'll see. Denny is a big stretch four who needs the ball in his hands too. Yeah, he's a guy who takes the ball and runs with it, isn't he? Um, yeah, I mean personally, no idea what um, the Trailblazers are gonna look like. That could be a really interesting team. Because here's the thing, we all thought the Phoenix Suns. I mean, at least I did. I thought the Phoenix Suns were gonna be a really shitty team this year. Let me scooch up a little bit. Um, I thought the Phoenix Suns were gonna be a shitty team this year because they just had so many guards, they didn't really have any good bigs, and then they made the playoffs and they got swept. But like honestly, the Suns impressed me, and I could see the Trailblazers. Donovan Clingan's a pretty good center, good defender, good rebounder and stuff. But honestly, yeah, I don't know. Um, Trailblazers will be an interesting team to keep an eye on. But yeah, uh, very interesting stuff though. But yeah, any of y'all in here, man, I appreciate you guys. Make sure to hit that like button if you are in here. Throw something down in the chat, and if you feel like it, please do hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot. Appreciate y'all though. Keep flooding that chat, man. This is fun. I'm him said, yeah, but the Wolves got an injury player. They traded like 9 picks, and Nas was actually pretty solid. He could shoot, grab boards, pass like a Lamelo, but a center. Nas Reed's a really good player. I wanted him on the Detroit Pistons so bad. I think it was either last offseason. I would have loved to have Nas Reed, man. Like and the fact that he's been coming off the bench, like in Minnesota, is crazy because he would start for 60% of the teams in the league. He would start for us, I think. Um, but yeah, you're not wrong. Um, you're not wrong though that they Lamella Ball injury prone guy, never really done much with his career. He's a great three shooter. He's a good passer, but he's a turnover merchant and he's a decent rebounder. Not a good defender at all though, right? So the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards is a solid defender, but like they have no bigs now. They got no one. Like Nas Reed was it was his time, right? And they just signed Nas Reed to like a 5-year deal last year. And like I was like, fuck, I wanted the Pistons to get him, and now all of a sudden he's traded. I would have loved to have traded for Nas Reed, man. Reed's a power forward that played the three last year. Oh, that's right, he played for the four at the bench, yeah. Yeah, he usually comes off the bench for the Wolves, which is interesting, right? Because he's one hell of a player. I would have loved to have had Nas Reed in the Pistons, but it's crazy to me though that um, the Hornet. Like, I wonder if the Hornets will probably start him, right? Because you have. I mean, let's look at the Hornets roster real quick, right? You've got Kobe White, Con Canoople, Brandon Miller, Nas Reed, and then probably Musa Diabate or Ryan Kalkbrenner. I would assume would be their starting five. It's an interesting lineup, but like I just is that really any better from last year? I think it's probably worse, right? So the Hornets were one game away from the playoffs this year. The closest they've gotten in literally like ever. Like this team has never been good, right? This is a horrible franchise, stupid franchise, and they finally do something and they just throw it away. Oh yeah, we haven't really talked about that Giannis trade. I'm him said like the Giannis trade was okay, but it's that the Heat lost their best shooter from the trade. Yeah, well, the Heat lost like everything from that trade. Like they lost Tyler Hero, they lost Jimmy Jaquez, they lost Khalil Ware, they lost someone else too. But yeah, like they got rid of literally everyone. And Kali said, and they will lose Norman Powell to Detroit. I hope so. Him and John Collins, man, they can come on over here, man. I would love that. um, yeah, I don't know, but I will say this: Giannis and Bam Adebayo down low. That's a scary team. Now, do the Heat have that many good guards? I mean, you have Norman Powell. Outside of that, they don't got much, right? Like they lost a lot, and if they go sign like Davion Mitchell, I'm a big Davion Mitchell guy. I like him. He's a good defender, solid player, but I wouldn't want him starting as a point guard for my team. I would or unless you have like a really good three, then maybe. But yeah, I mean, Giannis and Bam will be elite if they both stay healthy, and I think Norman Powell, hopefully will come to Detroit. But um, I'm him said I was thinking that what if the Warriors traded for Jalen Brown, like how they traded Jimmy Butler and 3 first rounders. Yeah, I think Jalen Brown's gone out of the Celtics. There's just been so much trade talk. There was rumor he was going to come to the Pistons, and then that fell out, and then now there's rumor. I don't know if you heard. There's a big rumor going around that um, Jalen Brown is going to be traded to the Trailblazers for John Morant, which I don't know about that. But yeah, that would be kind of sick. Jalen Brown and the Warriors. So you would have Curry, Jalen Brown, probably a couple first round picks. Um, you'd probably have to give up Jimmy Butler. I think you said that. Yeah, trade Jimmy Butler in first round. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Jalen Brown's definitely a expensive one to go get, right? But that could be, dude. Him and Curry, would be crazy. Plus, they still got my boy Draymond out there. Um, Kali said Andrew Wiggins just opted into his extension, which leaves no money for Miami to re-sign Powell. I forgot Andrew Wiggins is on Miami, man. He's a solid player too, I guess. So he would be their three. That's a pretty good roster if they kept those five right there. Davion Mitchell, solid point guard, he's all right. Norman Powell, great shooting guard. Andrew Wiggins, solid three, and then Giannis and Bam down low is elite. But um, Andrew Wiggins just opted out. Yeah, I don't know, Kali. I think you're onto something, man. Norman Powell just seems like, for whatever reason, I can just see him in a Detroit Pistons uniform. Like you can just see the Powell on the back of the blue and red jersey. Same thing with John Collins. I've always thought that about John Collins. I'm really hoping, man. I hope we get at least one of the two. I think Norman Powell would really finish that shooter thing that we need to fill this year, and then after that, you just need to go get one more big. Go get like a decent big off the bench that can play and get some minutes for us. Um, I'm him said that would be a stupid trade for the, yeah. Honestly, Jalen Brown for Ja. I mean, let's be honest. If the Trailblazers were to trade for Jalen Brown for Ja Morant, Ja Morant's not worth Jalen Brown, right? Like, so you would have to give up. Oops, sorry, my light keeps. You would have to give up more than likely a first round pick, probably multiple first round picks, or maybe multiple players. So I be interesting. It'd be an interesting trade. I mean, Jalen Brown, Damian Lillard, like, but I think the Trailblazers will be stupid to do it because they don't really need any more guards. I think John Morant is fine. Like that trade was like okay, it's all right. Um, I didn't mind that for them, but I think when you're looking at it, like yeah, if you go get Jalen Brown, you're just gonna have to give up too much at that point. And for a team that made the playoffs this year and actually won a game against the Spurs, like they already have a solid team. Obviously, they didn't have Dame, but like you've got some good guards in that team. I think you could, yeah. I mean, Ja on that team is fine, like I said, but I think you need to go get like a good power forward because now you just got rid of Jeremy Grant, who's a good player. So we'll see. It's interesting. Kali said that he saw Powell in Detroit last year. That's interesting. That is interesting. I honestly, I think out of all free agent is Kali. I think you said that he's a you he Norman Powell's a free agent, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm like 99% sure he's a free agent. I just don't want to say it if I'm wrong. But Norman Powell in Detroit would definitely be perfect fit. Because then um, honestly at that point, like you might as well trade Duncan Robinson, right? Like if you have Norman Powell, you don't. He's your starter. Like the dude averaged 22 points per game last year, an insane three shooter. Duncan Robinson can probably go. You have Isaiah Joe coming off the bench. Norman Powell as your starting two. That would be a great lineup for the Detroit Pistons. And then yeah, you could free up cap by letting go of Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson. Maybe you keep Marcus Sasser. Who knows? And hey, Kali, I appreciate you, man. Welcome to Motor City Sportscast. Get comfortable. Yeah, hey, anyone in here, man, drop some shit in the chat, man. We're just talking NBA. We can talk about NFL. We talked about some stuff with the Lions earlier and stuff. I'm him. Just said, is your favorite team the Pistons? I'm just asking. Yeah, um, I'm a big Pistons fan. I actually got the Pistons blanket right here. Um, I've been a big fan of them for a long time. Became a really big fan of them back in 2020. It's when I really first started watching them, and then the next year we got Cade Cunningham, and I've just been following them ever since. Um, the they've definitely gotten a lot better over the last few years. So yeah, I'm a big Pistons fan. They're my number one team. James LaRoche, thank you for the sub, man. I just saw that notification, man. I appreciate you. We got 14 people in here. Damn. Hey, anyone in here, man? Throw something in the chat. We're talking about whatever. We're having fun. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you're in here, man, hit that like button if you feel like it, and no pressure. But if you hit that subscribe button, that would mean a lot to me. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed, man, that'd mean a lot. But yeah, thank you, Kali. Thank you for, and that's why I modded you, man. You're the goat. Um, Kali also said Powell, Joe, and Herter with the side of with a side of Woo. Yes, sir. Nice 3-point shooters. Yeah, it would be absolutely amazing to get Norman Powell and have Isaiah Joe Herter off the bench and Javante Green, the Woo. Yeah, that's a good roster right there, along with Cade Cunningham. And then I'm him just said, yeah, y'all might lose Duran. We actually were talking about that earlier. So this is the info as of recent of what's coming out with Jalen Duran. We talked about it a little earlier, like I said, but from the sound of it, it's not looking good. It sounds like the negotiation's been very bad. It sounds like Duran's asking for a lot, and the Pistons are kind of lowballing him, which in my eyes, as much as I want to keep Jalen Duran, I don't know if he's worth the 45, 50 mil that he's asking for, right, per year. So, um, but from what we've heard, it sounds like Chris Haynes, who has dropped a lot of news today, I reported that there's a sizable distance apart in the negotiations, and it sounds like he's meeting with the Sacramento Kings, which is interesting because if we do a sign and trade, we might get Sabonis out of that. He's also going to be going on a call with the Lakers, so there could be a sign and trade with Duran and DeAndre Ayton over there. I don't know, but I'll say this. I'm him. I'm really hoping that we keep Duran. I really hope. You said Duran isn't that good, anyways. Yeah, I mean, he was an all star this year, but here's the thing. I was saying this earlier. Duran is a great rebounder, a great lob threat, right? And we have great team chemistry with him. Him and Cade hit their lob threat is amazing, and he's a pretty decent passer too, with decent post moves. He's a good finisher, but the thing with Jalen Duran is that the dude cannot shoot. I think he can shoot. I just don't think he does. I don't know if his confidence is down or what. But Duran is not a great shooter, and he's also not the best defender. He's not. He could definitely be a better defender than what he is with his athleticism and his size and like movement. There's no reason that he's not a better defender than what he is. Um, yeah, yeah. Kali said it best. Duran is a beast, but only when Cade facilitates to him. The thing with Duran is the dude's got post moves, but if you're his thing is he can't like really he can. I mean, you see it here and there where he'll take the ball himself and just score. But I don't know if it's his like I said, I don't know if it's his confidence or if it's just that he is not just not like maybe coaching. It could be coaching. Duran's a great player. He can score, but he fails to play great against the better bigs. You know, you throw him against Giannis, um, and I get playing against like Giannis and Wemby, like anyone's gonna struggle, right? But like that's where his limitations are. Is when he plays against like an Evan Mobley, whoever, he's not gonna be quite as good. I think Duran should stay in Detroit. I think he's a good fit for us, and I think that his connection with Cade is very important. So I'm hoping we keep him and just re-sign him. But I mean, honestly, yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't think he's worth paying for, and that's partly his defense and his lack of shooting. He can't really shoot that well, and never really does. So I don't know. We'll see. Um, I'm him said, not gonna lie, the Thunder got to trade Chet. Yeah, and they just re-signed Hartenstein, which honestly, I mean, like who did because they just drafted a Dayamar, right? Which I was a huge like I was pissed off about it because I don't like the Thunder, but obviously like for them, I mean them and the Spurs had the two best drafts, no doubt. Those were the two best drafts. They both got insane talent and players, but the Thunder, man, the Thunder really impressed me. They went crazy. So we'll see, but I think I don't know. I don't know if they'll trade Chet. I think they should. I agree because the dude was cheeks this year, and honestly, I don't think he's that great of a player. But Kali said Duran's mind was on the money in the playoffs. That's why he lost focus. It was the weirdest thing seeing Duran be so well the regular season, and then all of a sudden just absolutely losing the playoffs was the weirdest thing. Like it was almost like yeah, like you said, like his mind was just not right in the playoffs. It was a weird thing. Um, Gemini, what's up, man? You said give me a maximum or not, and Keegan for Duran. I'm guessing you're saying Keegan Murray. Yeah, for Duran, I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like if we're gonna trade Duran, it's gonna probably be to the Kings or the Lakers. Um, so yeah, I mean, I would hope that we would get a little more for Duran. I mean, I wouldn't mind those two guys, right? Um, but I would hope for a little bit more because I Duran was an all star this year, so I think you could get a lot out of him, right? Like you could get a lot for him. So I like that take though, Gemini. Um, I think that if we're gonna trade, do a sign and trade, then you got to get Keegan Murray's probably gonna be one of your top targets. Which I'm not a huge Keegan Murray guy, but the dude's a bucket, and I think he needs a new what do you call it? Yeah, Kali just said it. Sabonis and Murray. That's who I would really love. But yeah, I mean, if you go get Maxime and Keegan, I wouldn't be too upset. But then again, I think you're still lacking at that center spot. So you'd have to go sign someone else more than likely, or trade for someone else at the very minimum. So we'll see. It's interesting though. I like that take. Um, oh, I'm him said I missed it. He said the 11th pick of the draft was a steal. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Can we talk about what are your guys' thoughts on the Mavericks taking Morris Johnson Jr. at 9? By the way, like, I mean, I know Dusty May obviously influenced that, but I thought that was a terrible pick. Like, him over Ade Amara and Yaxel, like really. Um, but I don't know. Dusty must see something in Morris, man. I mean, I could see that being a good fit. But yeah, the 11th pick, dude. So here's the thing. We talked about this in the last live stream. I'm him. Um, we talked about how we had you had the Thunder. My top two drafts were the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. The Thunder went out and they got a Amaro, Bennett Sturts, both first round. Bennett Sturts is an absolute bucket, and then Amara was I thought was a good pick. And then the second round they went out and they got Otega Owe from my friends from Kentucky. He was freaking out about that. He was like, "No way, they just got him." And then the Spurs went out and they got Jaden Quaintance. They got Terrace Reed Jr., I'm a big fan of. And then they also got, I think I forgot his name. Someone in the second round that's pretty good too. Gemini said definitely a terrible pick. Probably talking about the Morris Johnson. Yeah, I didn't see it. Like, I don't, there was so much talent in this draft. And I just didn't see Morris Johnson Jr. being anywhere close to the top 10. I thought he'd probably fall maybe to pick 19 to 20, 21. It's crazy. But yeah. Um, Kali said he reminds me of Isaiah Stewart. Yeah, I see that comparison. I see it. But again, I don't know if I take him top 9. Isaiah Stewart to me is more the thing with I'm a Michigan State fan, but like I obviously watched Michigan all year. They were insane this year. Morris Johnson, honestly, to me, did not play as dominant as what he should for his size in college. He to me, like, he has a lot of potential, but I don't think he was as dominant as great as what he could have been for his size and athleticism. So hoping to see him grow though for the Mavericks. I think it might end up being one of those picks down the road that really works out. I'm him said, yeah, oh yeah, I sub by the way. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I appreciate you in here too, man. Let me hold on, let me look at this real quick. I appreciate you though, man. That's means a lot. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers. I'm like 100 away, a little under. So appreciate you, man. Yeah, you know what? I'm him. I'll give you a moderator. Why not, man? You've been awesome in here. Um, I gave Kali moderator too because that dude's just a G, man. I love Kali. Um, Nazir, what's going on, man? He said I would say to Duran, looking to taking a dance class dog to work on those puppies and then pay Hakeem Ojan for the summer dog, then come back with a few go to yeah, it's yeah, wait, let me read that again. Look at the dance class for those puppies. Yeah, like Duran is a great player, but let's be honest, does he deserve 45 mil a year? I don't think he does, but the dude's young, he's talented. I get why he's commanding so much, but he's also kind of being just an absolute dickhead because like I don't like I hate players that do this shit where like they're like, no, I want this kind of money. I want it. Like they think they deserve more than what they're worth. It's like if he really cared about, winning and shit, he wouldn't be caring so much about this contract. So yeah, appreciate you, Kali, as well. Welcome to the family. But yeah, it's a bit wild. I yeah, maybe Hakeem could teach him a thing or two, right? I think he's got pretty good post moves. I just think he needs to work on a shot. Like he doesn't have a shot for shit. I don't know. But yeah, just crazy to me that he's commanding that much money. I don't understand what his deal is. I'm him said thanks man. Celtics got to trade with yeah, he is dog shit. Uh, I don't even know how to say his name, Wish but I know who you're talking about. The dude who was like on the Bulls the year before. I think his first name's like Nikola, right? Dude is cheeks, and the Celtics have never really had a good center in a while. I think they had Porzingis a year or two ago, but like I don't know. There was a big rumor the Pistons were going to trade Duran to the Celtics for Jalen Brown. We'll see. We will see. Um, Gemini said, with all this Duran drama in the media, do you think the Pistons will just end up giving him what he wants? It's a great question, Gemini. I personally think they will. I think they're going to cave in, probably give him 45 mil. I don't think they're going to go above that. I don't think Duran's really asking for much more than 45 mil. Um, but even Kali said Detroit will overpay and keep him. We're going to keep Duran. Everything that we have heard and seen from the GM and just the Pistons like reports is that we're focused on keeping Duran. That's our number one priority. I think we're going to pay him. I just think we're trying to talk his dumbass down to a little bit cheaper, right? So I mean, we'll see, but um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think tomorrow is gonna be a big day, so I'm kind of thinking about I might be doing another. Oops, sorry, I might be doing another stream tomorrow, low key. Probably around like 10 o'clock again. We'll see, but if anything happens, if we get a bunch of crazy NBA news tomorrow, I'll probably hop on the stream again. Um, I'm him said, yeah, but now we got Tingus Pingus. Yeah, yeah, Warriors. Honestly, I mean, Tingus Pingus ain't too bad. Like he's an all right vet, right? But yeah, you probably don't want him starting. Um, I think when you look at Kristaps Porzingis, like honestly, like he's a good vet to have in like a championship caliber team, in my opinion. But do you want him starting, and do you want him and Draymond down low? Especially when you don't really have the greatest shooting guard. I mean, you have Steph Curry, you have Jimmy Butler. Those are two really good players, but um, yeah, Tingus Pingus, all respect to him. I think he's on my wall back there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's back there. Back when he was on the Knicks, but yeah, we'll he I don't know. I don't know if I wonder what the Warriors are gonna do with him. They're gonna keep him again. What do you think? I'm him. Caden Durant are the key to Detroit's success. Yeah, I mean, they were the two best players this year, I would say. They were both all stars, and their connection is just too important. I think it's too important to be able to just say, "Oh, we're not going to re-sign you, Darren. Sorry." So yeah, I think keeping both of them is insanely important. So we'll see though. We'll see what Duran's thinking, right? But I mean, really, it is up to the Pistons. We can just match any offer, but hopefully. Gemini said, "Man, Duran better get a jump shot then." Exactly. And here's the thing, Gemini. I feel like he does have a jumper. Like I've seen the dude. He can shoot. I just don't know if it's the coaching that's telling him not to, or if he just is not confident in himself. The dude has a bit like of a jumper. Like I don't know. I want to see him take some threes this year. Like if he wants to prove he's worth 45 million, he should be out there shooting, jump shots and threes and shit like that. And if he was able to like just be like a 30 like 33% three shooter, he'd be worth 45 mil all day. He's not the greatest defender either, but yeah, he definitely if he gets a jumper, man, this dude be one of the best centers in the league. I'm him said, I want him and Yaxel down in the paint. Whew. Are you talking about? Oh yeah, yeah, fucking dude. What a pick, by the way. Yeah, I've been saying for months. I'm him. I've been saying that Yaxel Lenenberg will be a Detroit Warrior or Detroit, a Golden State Warrior. Dude is a perfect fit. Him and Tingus Pingus down low would be interesting. Plus, do you think they're trading Draymond? I feel like they might, but I don't know. I kind of want Draymond to stay in the Warriors. The Warriors already re-signed Tingus Pingus. Well, I mean, like I said, a good vet to have on a championship caliber team. I wouldn't be too upset with that, but definitely interesting. Kali said it would be nice for Duran to get a jumper, but if we surround him in Asar with shooters, we'll be good. Yeah, there you go. So, and that's the whole thing with Asar and Duran. What are their roles, right? Well, Asar's role is to play defense and facilitate the ball in offense, and Duran's role is to get rebounds and be a lob threat for Cade. So they both did their jobs perfectly well this year. They were both. Sarr was the best defender in the league. I'll put him over Wemby. Wemby, you're 7'5", bro. Like you're a great defender, but like Asar Thompson, best defender in the league. And for Duran, like the dude was an all star this year. Averaged over I think about 20 a game and like 11 or 12 rebounds a game. So hell yeah. On him said, nah, they ain't finna trade him. They gonna keep him for his defense. Damn right. I'm a big Draymond stan because I'm a Michigan State fan. So I absolutely love Draymond, and yeah, the dude's just an animal on defense, and he's a good playmaker too. He doesn't put up much points. But that's because he knows his role. His role is to go out and play defense and to pass the ball to Steph Curry, right? Um, Kali said Draymond is a free agent now. He turned down his player option, and then I'm him said he's trying to say if we get him. Yeah, I think I think I did see that, Kali. I did see that Draymond turned down that player option. I think that's because I think he's still gonna stay with the Warriors. I would assume. Um, but I think that he's doing that so they can free up money um to go get probably like AD or something, right? Like the Warriors are gonna make a big move this offseason. Kali's got a Draymond jersey. Hell yeah, man. Fuck it. So you got a beef stew jersey and a freaking Draymond jersey. Like hell yeah, man. That's what we like to hear right there. Two absolute dogs. Fucking love it. I love Draymond, man. Him and could you imagine him and Beef Stew on the same team? That'd be sick. He did that so we can go sign LeBron. Yeah, more money. Yeah, I would like I said, I would shit myself if I saw Steph Curry and LeBron James on the same team this season. I think that would be absolutely insanely fun to watch. And LeBron had a pretty good season this year too. He was good, and obviously Curry I know dealt with a bit of injury, but the dude was he doesn't get any worse, does he? Like he's just too good. Curry's just too good. Um, but yeah, Kali said and Duran. Um, you got a Duran jersey too. Hell yeah. My dad was gonna get a Duran jersey. I don't think he did though. Um, but he really obviously loves Duran. I pray we keep Duran, man. He's too important. He's um too much of a Detroit legend already, man. He's already made his case. On him said, watch the Warriors are gonna get somebody later today. Hey, like I said, tomorrow night, I have a strong feeling that there's gonna because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, free agency starts at 6 p.m. tomorrow or today, whatever you want to say. Um, so I think you're gonna hear a lot of the rumors going around, probably like around noonish, and then by 6 p.m. you're gonna start seeing a lot of shit go down. So I think it'd be kind of fun to do a stream tomorrow night. We might be able to see some coming in live. So um, yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. Um, yeah, I'm him said, well, I'm gonna go. If you're live, I'm gonna finna hop right in. Hey, um, hell yeah, man. I appreciate that. Um, oh, you said you're gonna go. All right, hey, appreciate you. I'm him. I appreciate all the live chats, man. You sent a lot, so I do appreciate you. So I'm glad I modded you. I'll be able to remember you tomorrow if you hop in. It's gonna be a big day of NBA tomorrow. We got a lot. We'll have a lot to talk about, hopefully. So hopefully see you tomorrow. What time tomorrow night? Let's see. I'm probably thinking probably 9 or 10. I'm gonna plan for. I don't want to do too late, but I do want to do. I also want to do it late enough so we can see some signings go through and some trades and shit. So I would say if you guys want to hop in right away, just be like if you guys want to get in like right when I start, probably around 9 p.m. I think that's what I'm gonna try and plan on. Um, but we'll be going probably till like 10 or 11 ish. Usually I do about 2 hours. We're well over that right now though. But yeah, I appreciate you. I'm him, man. You have a good night, man. Um, but yeah, if y'all want to hop in tomorrow, talk more NBA, which is really what we've been talking about so far today. But if y'all want to talk more about NBA and all the shit that goes on coming up tonight and tomorrow, Hop in. I'm planning on. I'm gonna set a time. I'm gonna set a time. I will. What I'll do is I will have like a little. There's this thing you can do for YouTube. You can set like a schedule, so you might see it pop up. But I'm gonna probably plan on starting. I'm gonna plan on starting by 10 p.m. at the latest. So be prepared if y'all want to hop in tomorrow. Throw some chats in, listen to the crazy news going on, catch up on some shit. 10 p.m. But I might start at 9. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm gonna plan on 10 p.m. We'll probably go to like midnight or something. So yeah, 10 p.m. But yeah, great chat, bro. We'll continue this tomorrow. Kali, man, I appreciate you. If you're heading out, man, appreciate you, man. You're appreciate all your chats. That was a great chat. Hopefully more. I'll for sure. Like I said, planning on tomorrow. If I don't tomorrow, then without a doubt Wednesday. If something comes up, because I have random shit come up sometimes. But by 10 p.m. I should be free. So plan on tomorrow night, 10 p.m. If y'all want to join in and chat. But yeah, I appreciate you, Kali. Man, you have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow for sure. I'll be talking to you tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm glad that you joined back today. I was really looking forward to talking to you again. So enjoy the rest of your night, man. Get some good sleep and big day tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably stay on here for another 10 minutes if anyone else wants to drop something in the chat. Got about 10 people on here, so if appreciate you guys though, everyone in here, man. If you haven't already, hit that like button, and if you feel like it, please do hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot. I'm on my road to 1,000 subscribers, so. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for real. It means a lot to me. If anyone else has something they want to talk about, let me know. Until I see a new chat pop up of something else, we'll kind of just do a little recap of what we've talked about before. And if I don't see any new chats in the next few minutes, I'll probably hop off. But again, tomorrow night, 10 p.m., we'll be back on here. Probably mostly just talking about NBA. Just because there's going to be a lot going on. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. So throw something in the chat. But until then, or just say what up, whatever. But until then, so a little recap of what we talked about. We talked about the Terry and Arnold stuff. As a Detroit Lions fan, obviously, very heartbreaking. The Lions did release him today, so he will not be on the team. But he did get released on bond, $1 million bond. So, but like I said, he probably will never be stepping foot on an NFL football field again. So, but yeah, so we talked about that in that article. We talked about the Miles Bridges trade. Pretty interesting here. Pretty weird trade, honestly. Wasn't really expecting that. And obviously the John Morant trade as well. A lot of interesting trades, man. There's been like we had the Giannis one a couple days ago, and then we had these two. I think we had one yesterday too. What am I forgetting? Or maybe it wasn't yesterday. I don't know. But yeah, so we had that. We had the Malik Beasley situation. We talked about that. The Duran stuff, the potential sign and trade with Duran that they've been talking about. Interesting shit, man. A lot of crazy stuff. Tobias, we talked about him. I don't know if I haven't really mentioned him in a while. There's a really good chance that Tobias Harris does not re-sign with the Detroit Pistons, from what I've heard. It sounds like he might not re-resigning, so that would suck. I would really like to see Tobias back here, so we'll see what happens there. And then we did some JMO talk as well. Got a little article about Scotty Montgomery, kind of talking about how well he's been. So, but yeah, I'm not seeing really any new chats. So once again, if y'all have anything y'all want to talk about before I head out, let me know. If not, I'll be back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. So I'll give it another, what we got? I'll give it another minute or two. If y'all got anything you want to put in the chat, say what up, ask me a question, voice your opinion, or just talk about anything sports related. I don't even care. I mean, I'll talk about World Cup. I'll talk about NBA, NFL, even baseball. I mean, I'm not the biggest, I don't know too much when it comes to baseball, but yeah. But yeah, if y'all got anything to say, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. It would mean a lot to me. Got a couple new subs tonight. But yeah, it's not seeing anything, so I'll probably wrap this up. Hey, we got 8 people in here. I appreciate y'all for watching, though, for real, man. For whoever is watching, I'll probably end stream now. We haven't really gotten any new chats in the last couple of minutes, so I'll probably head out. But for whoever is watching, thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. It was fun. That was a fun stream. We talked about a lot. There was a lot to talk about, so I'm glad we got through it all. For anyone who's watching, have a great night. I will, like I said, if y'all want to catch back up with some more NBA news tomorrow night, I will be back 10 p.m. But before I go, if anyone's got any last words to throw in that chat, man, let me know. Otherwise, I'll head out of here. But yeah, this has been fun. Appreciate anyone who's watching. And free agency for the NBA gets started tomorrow at 6 p.m. So definitely excited for that. We should be getting some pretty good info. Today we got a ton of info, so hoping to see some more for tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Hey, Kali, appreciate you, man. You have a great night. I will see you tomorrow around 10 p.m. Thanks again, man. That was fun talking to you. You're fun to talk to. I appreciate all the stuff that you threw in here, man. That was fun. I'll see you tomorrow. And yeah, anyone else in here who wants to catch up on some NBA news tomorrow night, let me know. We'll be live tomorrow night. But I think that's gonna do it for me. I think that's pretty much it. Once again, one last time, if anyone's got anything that they want to talk about, throw something in the chat. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. Otherwise, I'll probably head out and I'll see y'all tomorrow night, hopefully. But I'll give it another 30 seconds or so. Why not? Yeah, we'll probably end it. People are starting to head out. All right. Hey, appreciate y'all. If you're still watching, you're a real one, man. Appreciate y'all. I'll be back on tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. That was a fun live, and I'll see y'all tomorrow night. And y'all have a great night. Peace.